Rise up, doubt in velvet robes, throw dead men's quotes like holy stones. Name drop Plato and wave your hands like a mystery will make us understand. You sell transcendence cheap online with cherry-picked and twisted lines. A sermon built from smoke and mirrors, preaching louder cause the truth gets nearer. You claim spirituality, philosophy, and historicity, but all you got is sophistry. We don't believe your silly fairy tales, but we're ready to talk about it if you want to. We'll even fight about it if you need to. So light the match, strike up the choir, turn your doubt into wildfire. We're dancing on the altar rails tonight. You call it faith, we call it theater, cheap illusions dressed up deeper, but everybody loves a beautiful lie. Whoa, whoa, you want salvation with the spotlight glow. Whoa, but the house always wins the holy show. You wear gullibility like couture, but every answer sounds rehearsed. You quote the saints, ignore the science, then call your contradictions guidance. A martyr complex in high heels, selling wounds that never heal. Do need an enemy to justify the glitter in your bloodshot eyes. You claim spirituality, philosophy, and historicity, but all you got is sophistry. We don't believe your silly fairy tales, but we're ready to talk about it if you want to. We'll even fight about it if you need to. So light the match, strike up the choir, turn your doubt into wildfire. We're dancing on the altar rails tonight. You call it faith, we call it theater, cheap illusions dressed up deeper, but everybody loves a beautiful lie. And if heaven's just a green room backstage, then who's been writing all your lines? You pray in public for the applause, then curse the crowd when they don't buy. By the way, darling, not sure if you know this, but we absolutely noticed that your family values venom has infected your whole system now. It's dripping on your ballots, making every vote a weapon. Your blind faith inspired prayers are now our Christo-fascist nightmares. Light the match, strike up the choir, watch the city drown in fire, while angels smoke outside the venue doors. You wanted prophets, you got performers, broken hearts and false informers, singing hallelujah like it's war. Well, now welcome to Async, where we just wanna know all the fears, ideas, dreams, and doubts that you sow. Saints burn up in orange and purple glow. And the sinners steal the whole damn show.
Oh, there we go. Hey, folks, we are back. Sorry for that brief interruption, but making do with the situation that we were dealing with.
Tech is gonna tech.
It sure is, but it's pretty cool. I was able to, have it running while I was literally on the road.
Yeah, it's just needs to maintain. Like as soon as you initiate the service on the cloud side of things, it's gonna take over, right? And as long as that connection is, I'm guessing it's weird how that connection has to be maintained for it to work, but it shouldn't be a thing like that.
Yeah. It
How
it
was your
should
trip,
just
RP?
still be going server side.
Yeah.
I'm not ready to talk about my trip. I'm like
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm processing it. Like that
Okay.
that storm was scary earlier.
That
90
sucks.
mile an hour winds.
Damn.
Yeah.
And
They
you were
like
driving through that?
well, I drove into it and then like I sought shelter at a gas station, but like yeah, it really came through. Like there were about like 3 capsized semis. Is capsized the correct word, or is that only like
I
a
think just
nautical term?
It's for
probably
like a
just don't.
boat.
Yeah, I think
Tipped
Yeah.
over.
overturned, but
Overturned, yeah,
yeah.
overturned is there are at least 3 overturned semis that I noticed.
Rolled, flipped, fucked-a-magated.
Yeah. As I was, leaving after the worst part of the storm had passed. So yeah, driving a large boxy moving van, definitely not the most ideal circumstances when there are 90 mile an hour gusts happening. So yeah, definitely made the right call by seeking shelter. But yeah, after I got past the storm cell, I looked up and I noticed that the moon looked pretty strange. I was like, "What's going on?" Like,
Yeah.
there's a tiny crescent shape, but I can like clearly see the rest of the moon. It's just kind of shadowed. And then I remembered, oh yeah, there's supposed to be like an eclipse tonight. So that was cool watching the
was
moon
cool to see.
grow slowly over the rest of the drive.
So you saw some trucks get turned over?
I did.
Yeah, that's wild. Like I remember. I mean, I've seen like I've been behind trucks. Like there's a place out in I think I want to say it's Wyoming, where you come out and you're pretty protected, and you come out and you're just right in this like cross wind. As soon as you come out, and I watched like 2 like triples. You know, we're talking about like we have doubles here. We don't. They out west they have triples, like like a ups truck or something like that, and like just turned over, just boom, just like as soon as they came out into the valley, like they just flipped over. I was like, oh gosh,
Goodness.
yeah. Of course, I stopped, but like because that's empty, would be pretty rough. But that's something we didn't worry about too much with milk. It would have taken a tornado to have picked me up and done anything with me with milk on. Like unless I was empty. Of course, empty, they don't weigh anything, but they're not. They don't catch as much wind as like a big old square trailer either.
Yeah, lots of surface area to get pushed around on.
Yep.
Yeah, I can only think of 3 like white knuckle times. One, I had to go down to work. I was working 3rd shift. I had to be down by midnight, and there was a whiteout blizzard. And it was on a normal day, it was an hour-long commute. On this day, it took 3 hours, and I told my boss I will never do that again. I couldn't see the front of my car. I was literally just following the tail lights of whoever was in front of me. They would disappear periodically and be like, okay, are they still there? Okay, they're back, right? Oh, it was horrible. And it was that for 3 hours in complete dark, except for the whiteout condition. Second time I was riding back on the motorcycle, and I came into a storm that just was torrential downpour, and I couldn't see anything. And it wasn't... There was a little bit of hydroplaning going on, which wasn't so bad. I'm fine with that. But it was I just knew that the car behind me couldn't see me, and I was just waiting every time like the brake lights came on in front of me. I just knew I was just waiting to get rear-ended by the car that didn't see me. That was absolutely terrifying. And then the 3rd time I was riding back from a wedding, and it was night, and I hit a patch of fog that was just pea soup, and I'm just flying on a motorcycle through fog, just waiting for the the dot of like a deer eye. It would be like the last thing I'd see, and then it would either be dial tone or I'd wake up in the hospital. And I rode like that for about 45 minutes. That would be the up there with one of the most terrifying times I've ever been out on a road. Scary stuff. The things of nightmares.
Yeah, the road can be unforgiving. It's
Oh, God.
one of the places where you make one mistake.
Mhm.
there's no second chance. But yeah, got home safe. We're all good.
Good.
Now I've got boxes upon boxes of childhood shit to go through. I've got a big old unused generator now.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, so gonna keep that handy until RP Junior gets through the milk that we have in the freezer, because we're weaning him now.
Mm.
Being 1 year old, he's able to move off that. He had cow's milk for the first time on this trip, and he loves the fuck out of it. So he's just like Papa. What else? Oh yeah. So like once we use up all that frozen milk in the fridge, and we don't have to have a contingency for having the generator, I plan on just selling that sucker. And like it's a nice generator. Like it goes for like 1,200, brand new. And since it's like completely unused, I'll put it on marketplace for like 800. I'm sure someone will pick that right
Oh
up.
yeah. I have 3 generators now, but I use them at the track for tire warmers, because the tire warmers that we use, like, they run 220 to like 280 degrees, so they pull a lot of power.
Oh yeah.
Um,
You drag race?
no, road race.
Oh, okay.
Drag racing is like, my buddy drag races, right? And I have the utmost respect for it. Don't get me wrong, right? Like his runs last 6 seconds, right? They're insanely fast. Maybe even faster. He might be into the threes now, because he, like, his last car, we went to go see the engine and we asked him, like, could we hear it run, and he's like, no, because if I start it, I have to rebuild it. Right, like the engine tolerances are so tight, it's like 9,000 horsepower, some kind of shit like that. And I respect the shit out of what he does, but it's just,
Does he race funny car or something?
yeah, it's alcohol burning,
Yeah.
something crazy horsepower.
Yeah, they
they're-
build the engine every single run.
Yeah, after every run they have to rebuild the motor.
Yeah.
So he couldn't even start it at a shop for us. But he was describing like some of like the things that he has to experience, and one of them I didn't even know could be a thing, but apparently when those tires spin up, they can take different shapes,
Mm-hmm.
and one of those shapes they can take is square. I didn't know that, but they can literally take like a square shape to them, and it'll start shaking everything so violently that if you don't let off immediately, it could literally kill you from the vibrations.
Yeah.
They're so horrifically violent.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, those tires get like all warped up. Like
Yeah, they do. I've seen them deform and everything, right?
Yeah.
Like they narrow in and everything as they spin faster and faster. I just didn't know they could like change shapes. I thought they always kind of stayed round because it was spinning, and it's like, no, they can actually. You get them in the right frequency. I don't know if it has to do with like hopping off the asphalt or something, but they can turn square.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, like well, I
that's
mean, like
wild.
every one of them tracks, like where you do that, like there's a like, like each lane has its own like little grit, like divots and things there.
Yeah, sure. No surface is pristine. That's
Yeah, I
Kinda
used to be
what-
big
kinda
on like drag racing. I got to go to the nationals one year. I was like in Indianapolis, and I was bitching about being stuck there all weekend because my boss hadn't found me a load, and like everybody was on the radio going, "Hey, the U.S. Nationals are this weekend." I was like, "Don't find me a load." I went and saw John Force.
Oh, nice. Yeah,
So,
he's a
yeah, I
legend.
was like, it was great.
His daughter's a monster too.
Yeah, this was a long time ago.
Yeah, apparently. But
Hey, Harpy,
Hey, what's up?
can you pull up the John's clip we were watching of John and
Yeah, I already got it. See, just letting
I wanna
the conversation
finish it. I just-
warm up.
I gotta go soon, so I want to finish.
Okay,
watching it.
yeah,
oh
we're-
yeah. We could pick
Yeah,
this
we're
up
just
later. I'll talk to you
talking.
about racing all day.
Sorry, guys. I
God
didn't want
damn
to
it.
interrupt you guys, but I would like to, if that's okay.
Yeah, let's go for it.
Save some time here, Gilly. Let's say.
Wait, can I say something real quick?
Oh, it is muted. One sec. There we go.
Yeah,
I don't
say
mean to cut you
say.
off,
No, go
but
go
there's
ahead.
an important distinction because there was I know what that line's from because actually there's a clarification because there's an atheist, I can't remember his name, it's Daniel something, but he explained in his debate with William Lane Craig, this is separate from the Sean Carroll debate, that when Alan Guth was saying that, he was talking about Sean Carroll's model, not the Bordguth-Vilenkin theory.
No,
That would just be contrary to the BGB.
no. Actually, he made that video for Sean Carroll to make Sean Carroll's point, and it is well established that Alan Guth does not hold that the universe had a beginning.
But I want us to save some time here because even if we were to grant that the universe did have a beginning, and we don't grant that because it's not been demonstrated, but even if we did, how would that be evidence of a god?
All right, right here is something I wanted to comment on earlier. Like John is going ahead and granting it so that for the sake of the argument, so that we can like actually get to the caller's point. But caller doesn't even like want to take that. He's gonna like go back. He's like, oh, well, actually, I know more about the BGV. And so, like, I'm actually right about it. It's really
Yeah, that
annoying
was obnoxious,
because
I thought.
they're giving him like an escape hatch to like
Yeah.
not embarrass himself further. But no, let's listen to him butcher it more.
Wait, we got to get to that though. This is the thing. Like, I respect you asking that. I want to have a respectful debate, but I feel like I can challenge that you know what you guys are saying. Like the Bordguth-Vilenkin theory, right, shows that if you trace a theorem, shows that if you trace a light ray, right, along a geodesic path, then it's going to hit a boundary, which you guys don't have to call that a quote unquote beginning, but I feel like we're just equivocating with that term because that is a beginning.
I'm going to impose some editorial authority here. We don't care right now because all of this is pointless for the reason I said. Even if it could be demonstrated, and it hasn't been, that the universe had a beginning, how would that be evidence for a god?
Okay, the reason why I got to keep going back to this because I'm demonstrating to you, and you guys, respectfully, you guys should be refuting the evidence I'm giving you.
It sounds like you're just ignoring the thing I'm saying to you, which is that we understand that you are very enthusiastic about demonstrating the Kalam. I'm saying, for the purposes of moving this forward, right? We've been doing this for 7.5 hours now, and we've spoken about the Kalam twice or three times in the course of this already. I don't really want to have to make the audience sit through us relitigating Kalam again for a second or third time. It's really, really dull. So what's more interesting for me is even if we were to grant that the universe did have a beginning, how would that be evidence for a god? I know that you don't want to talk about that because you can't join those
I'll
two
talk
points
about it.
together. But okay, well then let's do that because really no one's interested in hearing us have a debate about this. With the one exception, I am going to allow our good friend Chase, who just happens to be a physicist, to input here before we move on from it. Go on, Chase.
Hey, how's it going?
Good.
So the BGV theorem, what it proves is you were right about past incompleteness for geodesics, but there's a second part that says whose average expansion is positive. So what that means is that an earlier static or contracting phase can make the relevant average non-positive. So the BGV theorem doesn't prove a beginning. Even if there's a geodesic boundary, it doesn't prove that that boundary was an absolute beginning of anything. It's just where the equations of our continuous space-time no longer work. So in order for us to discern who's going to be correct from the big bounce models, from the loop quantum cosmology, ekpyrotic universe, or even if it is past finite, we're going to need a theory of quantum gravity, which we currently are very far away from having. So it's just the most honest position to take is to be agnostic about whether or not the universe had a beginning.
Thank you
Yeah,
so
I
much,
respect
Chase.
that.
Yeah.
Can I say one last thing, please? Now let's stop talking about it. I'd just say one last thing. I respect that you're in the field of physics, but all I'd say is that Vilenkin showed that those models you're talking about, and I've been reading some of those papers. I might not be a physicist myself, but he showed that those models are unstable, such as these models that would just have random fluctuations. They'd collapse 100%. Him and Mathani. I forget Mathani first name, but if it's a girl or a boy. But all right, we can go into the actual argument now. Or we
Hold
can
on. Let
go back
Chase.
to this,
Let
that's
Chase.
fine.
He wanted to run right past that claim.
Yeah,
He's like-
I'm not a physicist, but let me tell you why you don't know what you're talking about there, physicist.
So,
Oh God.
and what's interesting there is that what Vilenkin did was show that the static, they call them loitering universes, where the universe was like quasi-static for an eternal past, and then due to quantum fluctuations, there was a breaking mechanism. He showed that those were unstable, but there are still two other classes of past eternal universes that total at least 12 currently respected, possible, and not ruled out by even Vilenkin's latest work. At least 12 models of a past eternal universe that could all be true. So that's what I tried to explain to him here coming up, but he's not going to take it.
I mean, he don't even know the person's name that he's trying to say was doing this, or if it was a girl. Did he say he didn't know if it was a woman or a man?
Oh, the guest
Yeah.
on Vilenkin's other partner on the other paper he's talking about. I'm not sure.
I don't know. I thought you said I don't know if it was a guy or a girl or something like that. I don't know. Maybe
Yeah.
like
a man or a woman.
Yeah, he didn't even say
Be
that. He said a
respectful,
girl.
yeah.
If he said that, if that's what he said a girl.
Just infantilizing women.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's jump back in.
Let Dr. Chase respond.
Yeah,
if that's your name.
Yeah, I was just going to say that he has not ruled every past eternal universe out. He's absolutely not done that. If you're reading the papers, I would really suggest either consulting with a physicist or something like that, because there's some kind of misunderstanding happening there. He would have won some major prizes already if he had done that.
Well, everybody may not agree with him, but I mean, he showed that the most viable models that were offered are not.
Gilly, everyone may not agree with him. That's the point, is there's no consensus. Even if he said that, which I don't hold that he necessarily does. I consider myself a reasonably intelligent person. I have tried to read PhD level physics papers, and a lot of that shit's way over my head. And I'm not afraid to
Me
admit
too.
that.
Yeah, I admit that.
You too. Yeah. So you're not in a position to be able to read these papers unless it's like maybe an article where they're speaking, for lack of a better term, down to us on a level we can understand. We're just not in a position. We got to leave it to people like Chase, who have the requisite background in order to be able to interpret the papers and what the implications are.
Chase
of them.
mentioned.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I'm just saying you can still read like academic papers that Vilenkin publishes, or other physicists like Mathani that believe that the universe had a beginning, and you can. I mean, you don't really need to understand.
So we can agree that the matter is not settled, and that there's a difference of opinion, and
Yes,
that
I'd agree.
anyone claiming to know one way or the other is out over their skis. So we can all agree on that. So now let's.
Yeah.
So now let's.
The best explanation is what
Sure.
I'd say.
So now let's get back to what we were saying before, which is even if it
Yes.
was shown, even if let's imagine some new promising seam of evidence comes up that somehow demonstrates that prior to the Big Bang, the universe didn't exist, how would that be evidence of a God?
All right. The reason is because, let's say, if you grant all my things right, and the universe did have a cause, I would say, as a Kalam defender, obviously, and what William Lane Craig has postulated, that it's going to be an efficient personal cause that's obviously timeless, spaceless, immaterial, enormously
That's the thing.
powerful.
That's the bit you have to demonstrate, not just say. Explain why it has to be a personal, timeless, all of this stuff. That's all waffle that
Okay.
Craig puts into his argument and pretends it's been demonstrated.
This is why I like to modify P1 in the Clom, just because, like, we leave it unconstrained open to, like, all causes, and theists like to try to throw in supernatural causes as if that's been, like, a overruled in potential explanation. And so I believe extra definition kind of helps kill the Clom. So, like, everything that begins to exist has a natural cause, because we have no demonstration of, like, any, like, non-natural cause. And so if the universe began to exist, then it had a natural cause. God is not a natural cause, therefore God cannot be the cause of the universe.
Yeah, it's kind of removing the magic. The thing that most people
Can I do a
agree
mic
is
check?
everything.
Well, I
Yeah,
mean,
we hear
I
you.
think if a God exists, he would actually be part of nature. Like,
Robin,
so.
hello?
Yeah, you sound
Yeah, we
alright.
hear you.
Okay, I just want to make sure. Thank you.
No. I said, I think if God existed, he would actually be a natural cause. You know what I mean? Like if something supernatural exists, it's probably natural. We just haven't learned to detect it yet. Like, I don't, you know what I mean? Like, whatever it is would end up being natural. But, so, because if God exists, he would be natural. You know what I mean? Like, he wouldn't be, it doesn't make any sense to say that he would be, outside of nature, I don't think.
Yeah, it'd be easier though if we didn't have or it'd be easier to buy that if we had some demonstrable interaction that we can't, like, explain via some other tangible mechanism, right? Because even if there was a supernatural being, how would it be doing anything, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, like, I would say if there is a God, it doesn't do anything anyway. Like, I don't believe that. I don't believe any claims about personal gods are even in any way possible.
Well,
and I mean, like, to propose a deist God is just, you just might as well be proposing that, turtles created the universe. I mean, like, it's unfalsifiable. So
yeah.
and obviously it doesn't mess around in our affairs anyway.
Well, and I was thinking back to when Chase was talking about, one of the books that got him into it was Stephen Hawking's A Brief History of Time, and, like, I read that when I was young too, and, like, it was, blew me away. But one of the things I distinctly remember out of there was him saying that, if there is a God, right, he didn't have anything to do after the thing started, right? Like, this was going to happen. So
yeah, he's been fucking off ever since. He sure isn't here protecting us from mudslides.
right, or
like
anything.
I mean, how many people are, like, missing and probably going to be dead from that Nepal muds?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, like, we're
No, the problem of suffering is going to be perpetually their Achilles heel. But I mean, like, there's so many other areas, just like the vastness of the universe. Again, you go back before they realized there were trillions of galaxies out there. It's like, okay, maybe it does seem like we're special, right? Like, everything is, but now you look out and it's like, oh no, sorry, no.
Hey, Chase, do you know how long it is from this point until your spot in the call?
Sorry.
I'm in the call right now.
He's up now. Yeah.
He's up now.
Him up. Yeah.
I need to turn it up then, because I haven't heard him yet. Did you just start talking on the call?
Yeah, I made one point, but I haven't started my main thing where I actually corner the guy and make him stop.
Okay, I'm listening for that now.
Push the button, Frank.
Where no such thing has happened. He can't demonstrate it. You can't demonstrate it.
I can. Okay, so this cause, right, would logically be timeless and spaceless if it's not inside of time and space. Sans stands the universe. You said if you granted my premises, the universe began to exist and had a cause, right?
There might just be some principle that just instantiated time to begin. You can't say that it's time. If it's timeless, then it can't do anything.
Chase, hang on, Chase. Out of curiosity, Are there any plausible models for a beginning or causes of a universe? Or is that just out of the scope of physics at the current moment?
There are plausible, like in our theoretical world, which is where I work. There's mathematically plausible, but there's really not a good. I mean, you could say quantum fluctuations because at the base level, we don't know that they depend on anything else.
Okay.
The other thing
I do have a,
sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, Chase. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you there.
I do have a broader problem with the everything that happens has to have a cause type premise. Because we have, for example, radioactive nuclear decay. When uranium decays into thorium and an alpha particle, we know that the state allows for decay, but it can decay instantly or it can take 4 billion years to decay. And there's no cause for it whatsoever. It's purely probabilistic.
Yeah.
And how would you respond to someone who says, because I get this a lot when I use this example, how would you respond to someone who says, we may not know the cause, but that doesn't mean there isn't one?
Wait, can I say something real quick? I'm not trying to. So I'm not trying to be rude. I'm sorry, guys, but I just wanted to respond to that. So like, the premise of the argument is not everything has a cause. It's whatever begins to exist has a cause. So whatever begins to exist, that would be the premise.
Well, radioactive decay
Well,
doesn't begin to exist.
Here it would be an alpha particle, wouldn't it?
Well, like I said, so like even if these things existed inside of the universe, they would still have a material cause of some kind.
Incorrect.
Being that it existed inside of the universe, that the universe.
So let's just go back to the question I asked, because I think it might be pertinent here. So Chase, when someone says, these events and the creation of these the ionizing particles as a result of nuclear decay, if they said you may not know the cause, but why does that prove there isn't a cause?
Yeah, so that goes to what we call the Bell inequalities and Bell's theorem. So this is something that actually Einstein very famously had an issue with, was this, what do you mean there's not a cause? What do you mean you have the exact same state and then this one goes now, this one goes in 200 years, this one goes 4 billion years from now, and you can't point to a trigger that's like, now go. And so he thought that there was going to be something called hidden variables. So he thought that maybe there were these things that we just didn't account for yet, but that were happening kind of under the hood. And then a brilliant physicist named Dr. Bell came along, and don't quote me, but I believe it was the 1960s, proposed the Bell inequalities and actually a way to test them. And the Nobel Prize, again, don't quote me, I think it was 2022. But there have been Nobel Prizes won for confirming the Bell inequalities. So there is no underlying cause. It is random and purely probabilistic.
Nice.
Right.
Wait,
so that's a feature of reality.
Posit this thing for me again. Posit this thing for me again. Sorry.
Which one?
Like what you guys just posited has no cause.
Yeah, it would be, so a good clean example, if you're wanting to look it up, would be the uranium decay into thorium and an alpha particle.
I do just want to point out that I'm about
that alone,
to let him actively use AI and shit on him and AI combined.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but debating ChatGPT is so boring. It's like these people think that they're winning an argument. They're just showing their ignorance. Like they don't actually have a leg to stand on these things that they're talking about. They're just regurgitating like the pixels that are lit up on their screen.
Yeah, and John and Sean tried to shut it down, but I decided to allow it because I know that if you fact check the things that I'm saying, they're true. So, for example, I said, "Oh, don't quote me on this," but I'm 99% sure it was 1964 where John Bell proposed the Bell inequalities.
It was in the 60s. I remember that.
So it's like you can use AI to fact check me. It's actually going to be worse for you. And here in a second, you'll see he looks it up and then he starts reading it. He's like, well, that's not the same thing.
I can't wait.
Yeah, start the cope.
I'll take a look at that later.
Yeah, that alone refutes the first point of the Kalam, the first claim, doesn't it?
If you're teacupped and like Googling stuff, you'll have to do that later because we can't hear you when you do that.
It says it's still strictly governed by physical forces, so it would still have a cause.
That's not
That-
right.
I looked that up.
Being governed by physical forces does not mean it has a cause.
Yes, that would be the cause of it. That would be why it's doing what it's
Okay.
doing.
So
That's what I take the cause to be.
So, okay, well then let me try to help the point along a little more. If I have uranium and I prepare it in the exact same state, and one decays immediately and one decays 4 billion years from now, despite there being no difference in the physical state or the physical laws, what caused the uranium to decay in 4 billion years? What was the mechanism that caused it?
It says quantum tunneling when I looked it up.
Quantum tunneling is how it happens. It's not the cause of it happening.
Or that would be what the cause is, what we're explicating on. That's what the cause means, is how it happened.
Is it how something happens isn't what causes it to happen?
What? Yes, this is the cause. What do you mean? If I say that I poured a glass of water and that's how it happened, is me pouring it, that would be the cause as well.
My car going forward is how my car gets from A to B, but it's not the cause. The cause is internal combustion and me pressing the gas pedal, and then you can go back to like
Nice
the
retort,
initial cause of
Sean.
it. A description of how something goes about a thing isn't the underlying cause that made it do that thing.
Wait, this is just a definitional fallacy. That's how you define it.
Yes,
If
no,
I-
that's the problem. Is you're making you're equivocating between a law or dynamical mechanism that determines probabilities and a cause that determines a particular event.
Nice.
Wait, no. Because when we say like quantum tunneling caused that, that's how it happened, as I just explained. You might say how
can
it
you guys
happened to
pause it
something
for a
else,
second?
but that's
So the analogy that I was going to use, but Sean's was good enough, is what he's saying. So quantum tunneling is the mechanism by which it leaves. And what I was going to say to make it more explicit is imagine if we're at a party and then Arpy gets furious and leaves. And then somebody says, "Why did Arpy leave?" And someone said, "Well, they walked out of the door." It's like that's not the cause of him leaving. That's how he
Yeah.
left. Or
Right.
they.
Yeah,
Sorry,
yeah.
Arpy. They. Sorry, I didn't.
You're good. You're good.
That's how they left. That's not the cause of them leaving. Quantum tunneling is how the particle gets out. It's not the cause of the particle getting out.
Yeah, right. Exactly. That you explained it. That's perfect. That makes perfect sense to me, anyways.
Yes, I feel so much smarter now. I hope I get a quantum tunneling question.
All right, I'm going to channel my inner idiot now. Oh, so you're saying alpha particles have emotions?
Yes,
Okay.
they have emotions,
They get angry.
and and they feel pity for the theists online that don't understand them.
They all have their own fuse length, and like you just don't know what the fuse length is. They get angry and they storm out, and they tunnel their way out. Oh, that makes perfect sense. Got it. Okay. There's a god.
Fucking goated, Eric. Alpha particles are very insecure about their masculinity.
That's
So-
the explanation. That's the explanation.
So quantum tunneling is the mechanism that gives the transition amplitude or probability. I'm asking what determines why this nucleus tunnels at 1 rather than 2, at time 1 rather than time 2.
At time 1 rather than time 2, wouldn't that also be quantum tunneling as well?
Quantum tunneling is the mechanism by which it happens. It is not the cause of it happening.
Wait,
Dude, you're like.
if I look this up, you sure it's not going to say that there's a cause for it? Because I guarantee you.
Hold up, Gilly, you take.
He guaranteed that it would back him up.
Yeah.
So this is where I was like, pop out that AI, big fella.
Right.
Watch it tell you explicitly that there's no cause.
As a layperson, taking a moment to quickly Googling something really quick, whatever pops up on AI or what have you, is not. You're trying to
This is not the
compete
one.
that against how many years have you studied physics, Chase? That's not a replacement.
Why wouldn't they put real physics knowledge online? That wouldn't make sense. Like why AI would just
That's a straw man fallacy. I didn't say they wouldn't put real physics online, but you're not qualified to an answer that comes up real quick fully understand what it's actually saying. Like you're trying, like you sitting on your toilet with your phone is not research.
That's a credentials fallacy. I don't need to have credentials or experience or study these things.
Okay,
for years.
so it's a credentials fallacy. Can you pass a master's level final exam in physics? If you took one right now, would you be able to pass it?
That wouldn't matter. That's false equivalence. Come on, man.
No, it matters to your knowledge. It goes to.
Okay, so I'm definitely awarding this guy Philbro status. Like he's invoked like fucking like 6 fallacies in like the last like 2 minutes, and like they don't necessarily apply. Like
He's a
just
LARPer.
trying to-
You mean
Yeah, and like his AI is smarter than Chase.
right?
Fuck, these people are so annoying.
Right, like what Sean's trying to explain is it's a comprehension issue. Like, you know, just because like you can read the words doesn't mean that like you'll understand, you know, the deeper concepts. Like I forget who like had us watch that clip by Feynman when he's like talking about explaining magnetism. You know, you got to know where the person's at before like you can like start to explain magnetism at the level that they're at, because like the deeper you go, like the explanation for magnetism you know, gets more and more complicated.
Yeah, I think I showed that on one of my early visits.
Okay, yeah, that sounds right.
To your knowledge about physics. So since are you claiming to be qualified? Yes or no?
You don't. Once again, that's credentials.
Yes or no?
fallacy.
Yes or no? Yes or no? I'm not asking you for the
obviously not.
credentials. Okay,
Obviously
so then don't call out a fallacy if you acknowledge you are not qualified to really have this conversation at a level that Chase is.
So if you do want to put it in AI, just put, does anything in physics happen without a cause?
Big W, Sean.
I'm always reminded of the idea of somebody with absolutely no experience walking into a dentistry conference and starting to lecture the professors of dentistry and what they've got wrong. But it's absolutely remarkable to me. Like, I really know my limits. I know when I've reached the edge of what I can talk about with any authority. I kind of stop talking, or I defer to other people. I'm too embarrassed. I would be embarrassed to suppose that I can present a contrary position to someone who has got years and years of training in a field because of something I've read in 5 seconds on the internet. I would just feel embarrassed.
These things, like, yes, there are things that happen without a cause in nature, but that does not go to show that whatever begins to exist doesn't have a cause. That's the argument that we're making.
Notice how the AI didn't want to. The AI just explicitly backed up what I said, and he read it. He was
Yeah,
like,
he
"Oh,
didn't-
so it
he
does
didn't
say
like
happens."
it.
when it
Yeah.
comes." He's like, "But begins to exist." And it's like,
Okay.
but this,
that was
this is
awesome.
where I was happy because I did not let him wiggle out of the begins to exist thing.
Good
I
job.
I kept him in this corner.
Yeah, they like, you know, and you've done explained that to him how many times that.
Oh, we're not done explaining the exact same thing to him. If you were wondering,
Let me just say that like this usually, like I get this a lot. Like anything that I've ever done for a living or whatever, then I will get a man that will come in and be like trying to tell me how, like, what, like if I know something that they don't know. But like usually they don't do it. They used to not do it, at least to other men. But now they just decided they can just take on any field, physics and everything.
Well, so much of it comes down to like knowing the jargon, knowing the lingo, knowing what they're saying, and there's so many words that cross over that gives people this indication that they might understand what they're talking about when they really don't, and it trips up so many people.
I don't know if you were, I think it was you, Ray, where I was explaining the 3 different ways the word dimension is used. And it's like, it's context dependent, and we don't specify when we're talking to each other or writing papers.
Right.
If I say 27-dimensional light, or if I say 10-dimensional space-time, those are 2 different things that any physicist would immediately know I'm not using dimension in the same way. But
Right.
there's no way you know that if you haven't been working in the field.
Exactly. And that's every field. That's not just your field, it's every fucking field. They all do that. So to come in with this confidence and the arrogance, it's just so baffling. It's and frustrating, honestly. Just the Dunning-Kruger on such profound display.
Chase, would another thing that we like would say doesn't have a cause be like virtual particle exchanges when subatomic particles bump into each other?
So that one is a pitfall for, especially if you're going to do what I do, where I will actively let them use AI. Virtual particles are not actually real. They don't exist. They're math tools. They only
Yeah,
exist
they're
in
just like
mathematics.
expressions for like Feynman diagrams, right?
Yeah, so they could get you on the technicality that they said that things that exist have a cause, and those technically don't exist. And
Oh,
AI
okay,
would
yeah.
probably bring them that argument if they were able to word it well. So it's something that you could use, except I am open that you are allowed to look up, Google, fact check, or AI anything that I say if you want, because it's not. It's all it's going to do is make it worse for you when you realize I'm right.
Right.
Because I'm not going to say something I don't know. Like I said, I'm pretty sure that the Bell inequalities were 1964. I generalized to the 60s and still said, don't quote me, because I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah.
But so when I tell you that uranium is decaying into thorium in an alpha particle without a cause, I fucking know that shit.
Right.
So I'll let you look it up all you want. You can word the question to your AI however you want. It's going to back me up unless you've completely neutered your chat GPT to be an apologist for you.
Or they're just a bad faith interlocutor and just willing to lie.
Yeah.
I don't even understand enough of that to ask questions, so I'll just sit here.
There are some people that will try to do that to you, though, Chase. There are some people that they'll know enough to they'll just try to confuse you. And as long as they can confuse you, that is almost part of the goal. Because anything that makes you stop and go, huh? Like, especially because I gotta think, also keep in mind, some of these people aren't really concerned with the debate at hand. They're trying to get you to say things and react in certain ways so they can dishonestly clip you and edit it, so it show to their fans, like a propaganda style video, essentially. You get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, that's
there's nothing really
why
you can do about that, but just be mindful of it.
No, that is why I make sure to put qualifiers if I'm not definitely sure about something. Say like, hey, don't quote me. It could be this. It could be that. You'll hear me hesitate a lot before I say things, and that's me thinking, if this was recorded and some dishonest apologist had unlimited time to look through textbooks and AI and websites, and could they find anything I said that was wrong?
Mm-hmm.
I try to consider that best of my ability. Obviously, I'm not going to bet 1,000 because we're talking about really difficult things, and it's
right.
It's impossible not to mess up and say some tiny little detail wrong that somebody can't come back later and again, like you said, dishonestly frame it like the whole thing was wrong. But I do think about that, and that is when I said that, like, I've been practicing my debate skills. I hope it's showing in this, but what I mean is I've been preparing specific examples so that I don't have to do that off the top of my head. So this thorium, uranium decaying to thorium and an alpha particle, I had already prepared and researched that because I was pretty sure off the top of my head that that's one of the few things that doesn't have a cause in physics.
Yeah.
But I wasn't sure if there was a way to wiggle out. And so I looked at it from every angle and there's no way to wiggle out of it. So then I was like, well, then in a debate, there's no sense in me trying to pluck from all of my physics knowledge. Why don't I just pick this one and run this one? If you're going to run the Kalam that you get to just run over and over, then I'm going to shit on it with uranium decaying to thorium and alpha particle over and over. And now your Kalam is just permanently checkmated.
Yeah. You just you just build up a collection of those for every debate tactic they have.
Yeah, and so that's what I mean. Yeah, that's what I mean when I say I'm working on my debate skills. I mean, I'm actively, if you're going to sit here and read Thomas Aquinas, then we're going to end up with a book of Chase Martin, debunking all the stuff that he said.
Yeah.
But that's why I even wanted to wait till January to do the other thing with them, where I just let all the theists come on. Is I want to go read the history of all of these. I want to read the works of Thomas Aquinas, see what he said and how he got it wrong.
I've never thought to do that. Not even when I was a Christian, but I wasn't Catholic, so.
Yeah. Well, we're happy you're all better now.
Yeah. So I'll make you a doc, like Justin has his doc, like his debate, like notes or whatever, in a Google Doc, like document, where he keeps all that stuff on there. Like, because if you're like a channel member, you know, you can access his stuff.
Yeah, I saw Blitz has that too, and I was wondering if I'm the only one who's doing this off the top of my head.
Yeah, you'll get, like, eventually you know, if you do this, if you mess with people as long as they do, you know what I mean, there's so many like things that you do need to remember that. And
well, Blitz also keeps notes on callers, like.
Yeah, I love Justin's document. It's badass.
Yeah, and so I guess what's happening is I've kind of independently stumbled upon that, because you have this exact thing that doesn't have a cause that they can't wiggle out of. So why wouldn't you just be like, all right, well, there's a check mark for that argument that gets rid of it. And then as you develop them for 10 or 12 different arguments, you end up kind of just invincible to all their bullshit.
Right.
But I've mostly, and even this, all I did was look up to make sure that example was good. But I'm talking about all this off the top of my head.
Yeah.
Acknowledge that there are things without a cause, and that was admitted. If you would like to make your
just
argument
admit it,
from
but
there,
not that things can begin to exist without a cause. That was the premise of the argument. The first premise, that whatever begins to exist has a cause.
So does radioactive decay happen eternally into the past, or does it begin at a point?
I just explained to you
That's a question.
From what I looked up. Well, yeah, I'm trying to answer it. I just explained to you that from what I looked up, that thing, whether when it began to exist or whatever, still had a cause. There was no.
You did not actually. You just looked it up, and it told you that it does not have a cause.
It didn't say that.
You came back and admitted it.
I didn't. No, I didn't. No, I wasn't saying that exact thing. You asked me. Remember what you asked me? You asked, "Is there anything in physics that doesn't have a cause?" That's what you asked me. I looked that up, and while that may be true, I said that there's nothing that begins to exist without a cause.
Yes, I'm with you. So what I said was the next thing was, did radioactive decay happen eternally into the past, or did it begin at some point?
You know what? We don't need Gilly here. We can just have this conversation with ChatGPT ourselves. This is pointless. This is not what debate is. Debate isn't come and talk about a topic you know absolutely fuck all about and then go off to ask an AI for the questions each time, because what are you here for?
Because I just
Gilly.
looked it up and it literally says it does have a cause, and it's the physical forces. There's physical force.
But there are
That was
specific
fucking
events.
brutal
Gilly,
what John
specific
just said.
events. What we're saying is that the nature of these things is probabilistic. You only know that it's going to happen a certain number of times in a certain period. That's all you know. The thing that actually makes it happen in a given moment doesn't have a cause. That is, to my understanding, is what the Bell stuff is about. Have I got that right, Chase?
Yeah, the Bell's inequalities show that there are no local hidden variables. So
Right.
between these particles, there isn't some kind of thing that we're missing
That we
because
just don't
searched really hard.
exactly, that we just don't know about, that if we found out about it would explain why it happened at time 1 rather than time 2.
Gilly, are you using Google AI? Which AI are you using?
I think it was OpenAI, maybe. I don't remember right after.
I mean, were you putting it into Google and then giving the AI response?
Yeah, I don't think
Okay.
that's that unreliable.
Okay, I
though.
put. Yeah. Hold on. I asked Google AI, which is according to you very reliable. Does Google AI ever give wrong answers? Yes, Google AI gives wrong answers and makes frequent mistakes.
This is where
wait a minute.
deferring to someone with greater experience and expertise in the area isn't a fallacy of appealing to authority. It's appealing to an authority who's qualified to speak on the matter, and that's where we learn
I
from
didn't say
people
that.
who know more about us, know more than us about things. Don't you think that would be a smarter move?
Wait, I didn't claim that though.
No, but what you're doing is you've decided that you're right about this, and you're arguing with someone who knows a lot more about it than you do, and it's
I haven't
just
decided
silly.
I'm right about this. What do you mean?
Well,
What
it
do you-
sounds
what
like
do you mean by that?
you're insisting that everything that begins to exist has a cause. Chase has shown you examples very specifically of things that begin to exist that do not have a cause, and you run off to AI to show that he's wrong. That's ludicrous.
He literally asked me to look it up, though.
Well,
I mean,
the
at
AI
one point he
also
did ask
says
me to
I
look
was
it up.
right.
At one point, because he to make the point that if you plug in these particular search terms, it's going to tell you you're wrong, because you seem to only be satisfied not with an actual freaking physicist, professional in the field, but like Google AI responses, which Google AI itself says that it's frequently wrong.
Wait, I didn't say I wasn't satisfied. What do you mean?
Okay, well, we're glad that you are.
Agree with him?
So we're glad that you are.
Wait, I was just challenging it. That's all.
Okay, well,
Yeah,
we
but
still
I did confirm what I said. So
Yeah.
now you have to contend with it.
I did. I explained to you that there is a cause within the fundamental laws of nature, as I already explicated on.
I'll try again. So yes, the fundamental forces of nature are what makes radioactive decay happen. What I'm asking about is the individual decay event. So when you have one decaying now and one decaying 200 years from now, you would have to point to me a cause 200 years from now that starts it decaying. That individual event.
Didn't I give that to you? I said quantum tunneling.
no, that's the mechanism.
Quantum tunneling is the mechanism.
Wait, yes, this mechanism is the cause. This is the mechanical cause. I just
This is silly.
What specifically about quantum tunneling causes one to decay at 400 years from now and one to decay at 4 billion years from now? What is the mechanism that causes them to happen at such vastly different times?
I don't know the exact mechanism, but that still wouldn't refute that there's not a cause. Once again,
Okay, what is this? So you're saying there's a cause. He's saying there's not. You're just saying, and you don't have the cause. You're just saying, trust me, bro.
He's equivocating on that. There is not a cause to things. What I said is that whatever begins to exist has a cause. Not that things in nature don't sometimes don't have causes where things happen. But that doesn't mean why they begin to exist. Was the
I do believe that we're going in circles, but I will try one more time.
Well, here, like the only way caller can get out of this is if they, say that the particle that is decaying didn't begin to exist. He has to accept that, like, the particle began to exist. So anything that like happens to it, like that cause is supposed to be beginning to exist.
Yeah, that's the thing, is there is no alpha particle. There's no cause for the decay, but it happens, and then there's an alpha particle. So this thing began to exist without a cause. It's very explicit.
Yeah, it's almost as if he's assuming the alpha particle was at some point in the initial state, right?
Yeah, and that's what the Bell inequalities ruled out. Bell's theorem rules out these local hidden variables that says there was this extra information there that determined it. That's been experimentally ruled out. That's why I love this example. It's such a corner.
Yeah.
Does radioactive decay happen eternally into the past, or does this uncaused event begin to happen at some point?
Okay, so it would begin to happen at some point. There's no way it would be eternally. That doesn't even make
That's my
sense.
case.
Eternally? What do you mean by eternally? You mean like infinite?
I love how he just conceded, but then like tries to jump on what you said as if like it was dumb. It's like, no, like you already just lost. Like there's no recouping this argument.
Yeah, he's about to start squirming, and then I'm gonna also roast William Lane Craig here in a second.
Oh, let's go.
I just mean it has a beginning.
Wait a minute.
It's
Yeah,
not-
there's definitely a fundamental law of nature. Now, like I said, I'd have to look this up, but as I just explained to you when you told me to look it up, there was a fundamental law of nature governing this.
Yes, the fundamental law of nature. Last time, I'll let John.
Also, that's a true dichotomy. Like either something has beginning or exists eternally into the past. That's the same as it not having a beginning. So I don't even understand like why caller was acting confused, because there's no way that they were like honestly confused, but like they thought that like they could like twist it and like make it seem like it was a dumb remark.
And what I was trying to get them into is either it began to exist and we've already admitted it doesn't have a cause, or it's happening eternally in the past in the universe, which crushes your other thing that the universe was finite. So I was kind of putting him in that corner. One of your premises is defeating the other with this example.
Yeah, that was actually a great double bind.
I'll move on. The fundamental law of nature does not determine the individual decay event. That is the situation that allows the event to happen. But when something happens, for example, in 2 minutes versus 1 minute and 59 seconds, you would have to have a cause for why it happened. It does not have a cause because it's fundamentally probabilistic. And then you have the second problem that adds on to that of that individual decay event began to happen at some point. Therefore, I have given you a very concrete example of something that begins to exist without a cause.
No, you didn't. Hold on. Wait a minute. No, you did not give me an event to begin. So these things you're saying began to exist, popped out of being from nothing, right?
That
And
was
began
the
without
squirm.
cause. Is that what you're saying?
No.
Yeah,
That was
yeah,
the squirm where he
felt
interrupted
very
himself.
squirmy.
Interrupted himself like 4 times.
Yeah, he has no idea what's happening. His head's spinning.
Came into being from nothing.
No.
Okay, so it had a cause then. If it didn't come to being from nothing, it had a cause. There you go.
For
Incorrect.
fuck's sake.
But
Right.
I
That's what the whole
sense that
argument is.
John's not going to want to keep going in circles on
William
this.
Lane Craig has made this argument since.
William Lane Craig doesn't know what he's talking about. He's a theologian and philosopher. He knows nothing.
Wait, wasn't he just bitching about an appeal to authority or like, fallacies earlier? Like,
Yeah, then
he's
he runs to-
literally doing an appeal to authority.
Yeah, he's gonna go to
Yeah.
low bar bill.
Well, that's why I went ahead and did.
He's throwing his hands in the air.
Because here in a second, I shut that down. Even the caller admits that I shut down his William Lane Craig appeal.
I just get so
Nice.
tired there. It either did, what did he say? It popped into existence out of nothing. Where do they, the only people that believe any of that shit ever happened are the people who believe that God spoke the universe and shit into existence out of nothing. Like they're the only
Yeah.
ones.
But well, now that he's lost on that, he's going to William Lane Craig, and then I think you guys would appreciate the way that I got rid of that point. And then even he admitted he was like, "Okay, that was good. I'm done."
Yeah, call him Low Bar Bill. That's William Lane Craig's new nickname.
About physics.
Wait, he did talk with physicists before, though. That's wrong. He has had personal discussions with
Yeah,
physicists.
It's not his subject, my friend. It's not
The
his
difference
subject.
between- the
That's a
difference between
credentials fallacy.
me-
You can still make statements on it.
The difference between me and William Lane Craig is I can look in the mirror and talk to a physicist.
Okay, bro.
I don't think he knows what a credential. What is a
That was
credential
awesome.
fallacy?
I think. Look, I think we've now reached the half-hour mark, which would
Yeah,
be
we've
the.
debated for a while. Listen,
know,
I respect it. I
yeah.
respect you guys. I do. I respect you, Chase and Sean. So you guys have a good day. It was a good talk.
Thanks, Gilly.
Thank you. I
At least
appreciate
he
it.
was nice
Thank
on
you.
the way out.
Thank you.
That was a good burn, Chase.
Chase, you will be getting a knighthood.
Yeah, that was
Thank you so much. I'm certainly learning. I'm certainly learning it, and yeah, I find it absolutely remarkable that there's a lack of humility. I think maybe it comes from thinking you've got God on your
It was a good
side or
call,
something.
Chase.
But
Yeah.
I feel acutely uncomfortable when I'm speaking to someone about something, and I know they know a lot more about it than me. I'm so careful about what I say. I'm so careful about not stepping out of line in a way that would be to disregard the obvious hierarchy of expertise in the room at that point. And I just see so many people coming. I'm not necessarily saying that Gilly did this, but so many people come in and they seem to just not do that. And I just think about, I know what it's like to spend hundreds and thousands of hours getting good at something. I know how hard it is to do that and how much time it takes. And to me, there's a certain amount of like respect due for someone who gets to a point of being an expert in a field. And it's a time to listen, not just argue. So, I hope that he can reflect back on this and maybe take it as an opportunity to learn something, because I did, and I know other people listening did. And thank you, Chase.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Hey, Chase, what is that called again? Bell's something or another that
Bell's inequalities or
Bell's
theorem.
Yeah, Bell's theorem. And if I were to attempt to read that and ascertain how they figured out that there is no cause, do I have a chance in hell of being able to understand it? Like, is there a layperson's version of it that I'll be like, oh, that makes sense?
I'll tell you what, if there's not one, I'll write one for you.
I won't put you through that, but you're amazing for offering. I'm sure you have a busy plate. But if it's like a couple or a few paragraphs and you write it, I'll be greatly appreciative. But I certainly don't want to give you like a lengthy homework assignment.
We'll jump on this together, Sean, because it comes up a lot in these discussions. And so it would be a really healthy, thing for us to be able to say, here is the defeater for that claim, which often comes up. Just because you can't discern a cause doesn't mean there isn't one. And I say, reality at its core is probabilistic. It's, not deterministic, and that argument doesn't get across. So I think that'll be a good thing for us to make sure we've got our heads around.
Good stuff. Neck2 said he's going to bed. So,
Okay.
Not bed, but he has to go deal with
Yeah.
other stuff.
Bye, Nick, too.
Well, thank you, Chase, for convincing me to stick around. I was going to go at 2, but it ended up working out better this way.
I appreciate you staying and watching it.
Hell yeah. It was a good call. It was really interesting to listen to. I thought you did really good. And yeah, I can definitely see how comparing to what I've heard you do in the past. Yeah, you can tell you're getting better. And I think you're going to be you're going to be in the big leagues with Justin.
I appreciate it.
But for real though, it's good, and I think it's exciting. Honestly, I like the fact that there's so many people to choose from, like in this space, like coming online and having, a whole swath of people to choose from like that, and just want more. Like the more the merrier, I think, and just makes us look better. Have all these people willing to respond to the bullshit.
Yeah, the spectrum of expertise, having that at some level of disposal to be able to tap into, right?
That too, like in the professionals taking their time out of their day to contribute.
Yeah,
That's so it's amazing.
It's really nice of them.
Yeah.
Because they're all super busy, and the concern that I have, of course, is burning these people out, right? How many times can you bang your head against the wall of ignorance before you just throw your hands up? Like, I don't want to do this anymore.
Oh, look, Azuka in chat said, I love how the BS average defense is invincible ignorance. That is so true. It's like,
how do you get out? I don't know how to do it on the phone.
Oh, on the phone. I don't know.
Oh, I can drop you down from here by hitting that button.
But yeah, that was just one because for Neg2, RP, and Gretchen, because they've kind of seen me. Like I said, my first debate without Blitz there was Toronto Bible Study here with you guys. So they saw me kind of get frustrated and talk over people's head, and then slowly learn how to bring it back into a debate.
Toronto does not listen either. Like I like Mike and everything, but like he does not listen. And he does not like people who know more about what he will try to argue with somebody that he knows is like way more educated in the field. He just doesn't listen. He just refuses to listen to anybody who might know more than him about what he's talking about.
Yeah, we were stuck on the metaphysics of time for a long time that night, and like he was just like refusing to like try to understand.
Yeah, he'll just be like, no. That's his favorite argument to use if like you start trying to change something.
The change is not actually a change.
Like, have you ever considered because that's his favorite argument. He's a nice guy, but he just argues. Like he's if he thinks he knows something, it doesn't matter how wrong he is about it. You cannot seem to make it go through his head. Like Golden Arm, same way too.
But yeah, that's why. But what I do owe him is, as much as that was frustrating, it made me realize the importance of putting them in a corner. So I never even attempted to corner him. I was just answering physics questions like a teacher talking to a student. But then when the student gets belligerent, in my everyday job, I would just stop talking to them and be like, I mean, get an F then. I don't care.
Yeah.
But in a debate, it's like if they're refusing to learn, then you need to force their hand, and that's like a skill in and of itself. That I've been watching some YouTube videos on like debate strategies and like things that attorneys use, and then working on actually formulating the arguments for myself so that I'm not. I kind of thought that we were all going off the top of our head, and then I realized everybody else is using notes, so I'm kind of handicapping myself by not planning arguments.
Yeah, make it a Google Doc. Start keeping up with that shit, and like make you one. You can put you some, some Bible crap on there too, in case you need it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's But anyway, yeah. So that's definitely where I'm actually working on the skill of debating with the stuff rather than just teaching physics, and that's what I was excited to show them with this conversation. Was I was actually able to put the guy in the corner repeatedly until he couldn't wiggle out.
Yeah, you get addicted to debating. Yeah,
it was nice. And it was much more satisfying of a result than the guys that I let wiggle forever and just answer their questions while we jump to every single topic in physics and science.
yeah.
Like I had somebody on Cody's Live with Evidence First. We started with the Big Bang and we ended up all the way at like evolution. And I even tell him like, dude, not only have you tried to touch everything on physics, we've left physics into a whole field of science that I'm not even in. And then I realized that like those were a couple of calls where I was like, this is at some level my fault, because obviously they're going to want to wiggle out. They're realizing they're in over their head and they're losing.
Yep.
So they're going to shift. They're either going to move the goalposts. They're going to start acting dishonestly. They're going to give you the nuh-uh, or they're going to try to shift to something and catch you on a different point.
Yeah, it's just like a gish gallop through all of the it's a gish gallop through their whole list of questions. Like I had Austin. He's a biologist. I had him on like a friend of mine's channel one night because they wanted to talk about how sexual reproduction evolved. They don't even believe
Austin Sims.
Yeah, and so like as soon as I get him up there, because they wanted to talk about how sexual evolution evolved, because they were like, and so they asked me. I'm not a biologist. I don't know. I mean, like I could probably go study it and shit, but I'm not going to sit there and study for hours and hours to come on there. So I asked Austin. Austin comes on, and they ask him about the Big Bang. Like they don't even, you know what I mean? And I was just like, I flipped out. I was like, I brought a biologist here, and y'all are asking him Big Bang questions.
They don't get it. They do not
get it. They did it on purpose, I think. You know what I mean? Because they didn't.
So that's what I was going to ask.
Know the answer.
That's what I was going to ask. Is do you guys think that that's a truly dishonest tactic, or do they think that we're just prophets of science preaching the word?
No, I think it's sometimes very dishonest. I mean, I think that this was intentional.
Yeah.
I think that they knew. They asked me first to come up and explain it, and I don't know why they thought that I hauled milk. I was a truck driver. I'm not an expert on how sexual reproduction evolved.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
You can ask anybody I've been with. I'm definitely no expert on sexual reproduction.
Yeah. Like I know how sex works, but like how it evolved, I don't know. But I was like, so I brought this biologist, and then they completely just didn't even. They did the topic of the stream. They were like, "What's about the Big Bang?" And I was like, "Whoa!" I just got so mad. I was like, this man took time out of his day to come on here because I asked him to. So he can explain this shit to you dumb motherfuckers, and y'all are going to listen to him about this sexual reproduction evolution. We're not going to talk about the other crap. Yeah.
Yeah, and so that's what I've always wondered if they did. Like one guy did that, and he starts jumping to evolution, abiogenesis, and I'm like, if I'm being honest, I don't know much about them. I know the basics that I had to learn to pass Bio 1. So, it's like all I know about biology is that it's yucky, squishy things, and every once in a while, some biological organism joins a TikTok and starts talking bullshit.
I mean, I know a little. I know, I've learned a lot because I hang out with Mike and Austin and them. So I've learned a lot about evolution, but I don't, like specific stuff like that right there. you know, I mean, I don't really know like details about how sexual reproduction evolved. I know that we, you know, at one time we were, you know, like asexual or whatever, you know what I mean? And then the why having like a male and a female like gives you twice as much, you know, genetic like diversity. So it helps. But
Well, like most things, it seems to like be tied a lot to the level of complexity of the organism itself, right? Like the more complex you are, the more fragile you are is another weird one, right? Like we're extremely complex, but we can be taken down by a virus, right? Like the smallest living thing out there will just fucking crush us. Where smaller organisms they don't have that issue, right? Like a tardigrade can survive space for fuck's sakes. What the hell is that? So I think like as you get more complex, the whole the biology of the things that make up the complexity have to kind of like gain in complexity with it. So we've evolved into sexual reproduction. It again I don't understand it to the level that you know Austin does either by any extent, right? But like everything I've heard makes sense. So I've just done considering it like a belief thing. It's just like, okay, I accept it because that just seems incredibly rational to me. Like why would anything else be an explanation when this is perfectly reasonable given the circumstances?
Well, I mean, I think that they do some of those do that is they don't want their audience to hear the truth. Like, and the thing about it is they thought they were going to trip Austin up on Big Bang stuff, and Austin is pretty well versed on a lot of topics. You know what I mean? Like he's not a physicist or nothing, but he could probably answer most of their questions that they've got on that kind of stuff even.
Yeah, that's why, you know, the value is more find the thing you love and like pursue the shit out of that, but like at least have some base knowledge in these areas, right? That was the whole point of school, is to give you a well-rounded education so that you can, you know, not sound like an idiot on every single subject. Just, you know, a mile wide and an inch deep is better than just a dried up riverbed, or, you know, I don't know. It's
hey, Puggles.
Oh, Puggles is here.
Yeah, like the thing about arguing with theists is that you have to learn to be a physicist, a cosmologist, an evolutionary biologist, a mathematician. You know what I mean? Like, you know, because they will have questions that like they think that we are to have every answer for every question they come up with, like, and of course then they, you know, now they've kind of gotten like abiogenesis, like that one guy that he was like the other day, you know, he was talking about, I made a video about evolution, and he was like, well, you can't show it's true because they haven't you know proven abiogenesis. And I said, well, abiogenesis is a separate hypothesis away from, you know, the theory of evolution. Like the theory of evolution does not have anything to do with the origin of life. I mean, and it doesn't even claim to. And he was like, well, if you can't prove how life started, then your theory's bunk. I was like, no, that's not how it works. You don't get to say what the evolutionary theory answers, what question it answers. Like they want to wrap all of it together.
Yeah, it's bad. Oh, and going back to the audience aspect of it, Chase, one of the things I think like as it was more rewarding for you to like pin the guy down and totally get like in that moment. That's badass for sure. But at the same time, in your previous discussions, the audience was still getting something from that in a lot of ways that probably isn't going to have the tangible sensation that you'd get from pinning down a dipshit on being a dipshit. But there's still a bunch of value in that too. So, you know.
Yeah, well, it's definitely a fine line, but what I did real pinning on one point forces the issue deeper and deeper, and then it ends up going over their head where they don't know what they're talking about anymore. Versus like the Kalam cosmological argument. Again, as I've started doing a little prep for the possible special show with John and them, I was reading about it, and it has so many issues with current physics. It relies on essentially a 1970s pop science view of physics. And I'm not exaggerating. I mean, literally theorems and ideas from the 1970s. And even at that, they have to be oversimplified. And that's why the debate with Sean Carroll went so bad that even the other theists and preachers and stuff were talking about how bad William Lane Craig got smoked. But then, hold on. Oh, sorry, my wife has Roomba going. It was about to come to my office and mess up all the work I've been doing. But so then after the debate, William Lane Craig altered the Kalam to basically stitch it together with a bunch of fringe pseudoscientific ideas to keep it alive on life support. And they don't know that. Like, these theists don't know that. They don't realize how surface level and outdated the argument is. They just know how to run the argument because William Lane Craig has written books on it. But under the hood, on the deeper levels, it's bad. It's worse than you might think, by the way. So, for example, Einstein's relativity destroys the Kalam on its own. You have to misinterpret the BGV theorem. You have to get it wrong. Literally, there's no other way around that. I've looked into it. You just have to get it wrong. They use the Hawking-Penrose singularity theorems, which were in the 1970s. And even later, Hawking and Penrose abandoned the idea that the Big Bang was the beginning of time. And Penrose is now one of the main ones doing the cyclic universe models. And then Hawking famously had the Hartle-Hawking no boundary proposal. So you're having to ignore all of these recent developments. And then for quantum mechanics to get rid of this cause, so I don't know if you know this, but Sean Carroll cooked William Lane Craig on this cause argument that I gave. I don't know if he specifically used uranium to thorium and alpha, but he used the fact that quantum mechanics is probabilistic and things don't really have causes. And so now William Lane Craig has to hold to what's called the de Broglie-Bohm pilot wave quantum mechanics, which is very fringe. And it basically says there's these actual invisible pilot waves that can't be observed, and they have highly complex non-local variables that you could never experimentally see, but secretly they're causing everything. And then you also have to have neo-Lorentzian relativity, where Einstein's interpretation of relativity is wrong, and that there is a universal now, but it's invisible to scientific instruments. And so he's had to literally patch together several unobservable, unconfirmable what ifs and by the way, you're also at this point not picking your favorite based off of metaphysics or based off of physics or evidence or mathematics. You are now picking and choosing fringe, unverifiable, unfalsifiable theorems. By the way, just hiding your ideas in the same place you hide your God, which is outside the realm of anything you can observe.
I was going to say, it might as well just be crystals. You might as well have just said it's crystals.
And you're picking them backwards. You're starting with your theology and keeping the last few ideas that could possibly keep it. And this is what I mean. You'll see that now you'll hope you see that I wasn't exaggerating. It's on life support, and it's on life support very weakly, taking its last breaths. So when somebody comes in to run the 2005 version of the Kalam from William Lane Craig, you're gonna get shit on. Even the current one, you're gonna get shit on. So
don't
it's like,
count them out too, because they don't admit defeat well. Like they
That's
don't accept, like when they get beat, they don't accept it very well. Like, yeah, they don't, they just don't. They, you know, what I mean, they'll just keep saying the same wrong stuff. Bro, look at Felix.
Oh, Felix thinks his arguments are invincible.
I mean, like,
right?
every time.
have we ever even made a dent in Felix's
He will not be vinced, Robin.
Yeah.
Every time Felix talks or types a comment, I just want to sneeze on a sharpened pencil.
But I mean, like, you know, I mean, like, how many times we went through that, the contingency, the necessary being, and just like it's like over and over and over, and like there's next day the same. It's the same. It doesn't. They just, and it's just all, and everything's post hoc, you know. So anything that they can post hoc and fit into their theology, then they will accept that.
Yeah, and that's why I was given those explicit examples where William Lane Craig is now having to cherry pick fringe physics ideas that nobody takes seriously and that are unobservable and unverifiable.
That's why we call
He's
him
having
the
to
bar bill.
Yeah. No, so as I started looking into the Kalam and like where it's at now, because I knew after a debate like that, he was not going to keep running the Kalam as is. It got shredded. And so then I decided to, before we start helping theists maybe get their arguments right, at least on the physics, obviously we know that their God conclusions, they're not going to be able to connect it to God. But when I started looking into, is there a way to salvage the Kalam? You cannot accept mainstream accepted physics and the Kalam. It's absolutely destroyed by modern physics. And so he's had to stitch it together, like you said, ad hoc, starting with the end in mind rather than seeing where the information honestly takes him.
Well, I mean, like if you look at it this way, like a lot of theists have actually just rejected the idea of space and the shape of the earth and everything, rather than try to learn some new stuff. That's where we're at with these people. Some of them.
Also, hey Eric.
Hey.
I hope you enjoyed my John.
I did. That was well executed. I enjoyed listening to it.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like, I think when you talk about like the choice he's made as far as theories go to adopt, I think that's eventually where it was going to have to devolve into anyway, right? Because you have to be able to incorporate something that has zero evidence, right? Which means you have to find a theory that has something that is untestable to squeeze that into, right? Like if you had it any other way, then your invisible being would be provably false.
Yeah, and this is why I have a more general warning to theists about trying to use our current understanding of physics for your God arguments. Because even if you get the physics right, even if you abandon the Kalam and move to some other argument in physics, what you're going to run into is that we're always learning more. So when you do something like take a stance on whether the universe began to exist or did not begin to exist, if you build your entire argument on the fact that it began and then somehow we show that it did not begin, your whole argument, you're setting yourself up for failure by trying to do this God of the gaps argument on the edge of modern physics, because we're always learning new things. And so, like you said, you're always going to have to just revert back into unobservable, unverifiable phenomenon, unfalsifiable. And that's because rule number one, when you're developing your God, is to make sure that he is indistinguishable from a universe wherein he does nothing.
It is funny how 95% of theists, not all of them obviously, but 95% of them, they're always trying to find their God in the scientific unknown. Like, most of us are not scientists. We don't have like super deep understanding of these fields. And the theist is always trying to exploit that to sow some doubt into, the naturalistic explanations that are most likely behind everything we see, and then try to like inject their God in there. I mean, it is really just it's so funny how we've clearly identified God of the gaps as a flawed strategy, and yet it is always being pushed in some new form or another. Like God thrives in the cloudy waters, the murky waters of our current scientific ignorance. And to me, that's the theist, the 95% of them, that's an admission that their God has no good evidence, because we don't see scientists doing that type of strategy. We don't see scientists trying to push theories because we have unanswered questions. They push theories based on evidence, and they push theories based on what we can test, what we can falsify. Completely different. But for some reason, just the theists just don't want to let go of that. They just don't understand how flawed that is, and we will never accept it.
Yeah, instead of trying to falsify stuff, they're constantly like working from this is my God. I've got to find evidence of him.
Yeah,
or
that's why
at least a hole where I can shove him in real quick.
Yeah, that's why I liked asking the falsification question. I like asking, like, okay, let's consider this an actual possibility. It has a non-zero probability. If you were wrong about this, how would you know? Basically, okay, fine. You want to like get into the domain of science? Let's get into the domain of science. What's your falsification criterion or criteria for this? What can you find out for yourself potentially that would tell you you're wrong? And that really exposes the fundamental difference between their approach and what everyone else does in science. Is that I have never heard a good answer to that question of if I discovered X, then I would think my God is false, or if I discovered Y, then I think Christianity is false. I've never heard a good answer because they don't have one.
Yeah, and the one that if I was to give a friendly warning to theists, get off of abiogenesis, because they're gonna figure that one out. They're making too much progress too fast in that field.
Yeah.
And when they do, when your whole thing of like, yeah, but you don't know how life started, as soon as we could say, yes, we do, you've got a big problem on your hands. Because now we've got the universe without God. We've got the planet Earth with stellar accretion disks without God. We've got life starting without God and life evolving without God. So like now you're running out of gaps.
Well, most of them haven't accepted, a lot of them haven't ever accepted evolution yet. And like Darwin published in 1859. So like, it's going to be a while before we have to do before they'll ever make it to the abiogenesis.
Well, that spud cell stuff that happened about a month and a half ago, that's really cool.
Yeah, but like that A's philosophy that came on here the other night. Like Arby, was you here that night, Ray? I heard that A's philosophy. I heard him. Like he came on here, like he did a thing on that cell and was like just misrepresenting that whole thing.
Oh yeah, that was super frustrating.
Yeah.
I had him. He ran away from my second law of thermodynamics.
Yeah, you remember what I'm talking about. Yeah, like the thing that was like Professor Dave had the woman actually that built the cell on. So like if you watched Professor Dave's video, you got to listen to that woman talk about the cell, and of course she doesn't claim, like she doesn't make any claims about it. She's just like it can't reproduce. It's not. She said that's not really life. She didn't think it would be considered life because it can't reproduce on its own and stuff, but it's one step closer.
I thought the spud cell can actually divide. And
it could, but it only can go like through 5 cycles, and then it like, and they had to like feed it or whatever. And she went through it, explained why that it wasn't, but it's like way past what they've ever done before.
Yeah, it's amazing. Like it's amazing. First iteration towards a truly artificial life cell that we could create, because it's going to happen. Like if we can do it in 5 generations, tomorrow we can do it in 6 generations, and then 7, and then 8, and blah blah blah.
That's why I give them the abiogenesis warning of like, you're right,
Yeah.
we don't currently know, but they're putting that puzzle together quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it doesn't go enough generations without to where it can evolve to, like the way I understood it, they won't see, it should last long enough to where evolution will make it change. It can evolve some, and like right now, the any kind of changes to it, they were having to like manually do or whatever.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, and I have another issue whenever they say, so Monkey Boy has been getting this one constantly. He's been getting this complexity. Everything we know that is complex has a designer, therefore complex. And I've always wondered what would happen if you just actually made them get even more specific, because it's not like chimpanzees and elephants are designing complex things. Everything that's complex that has a designer was designed by humans. By your own logic, the universe would have to be designed by a human.
well, but like Matt Dillahunty makes a good point about this. Complexity is not, it's not a sign of design. Like simplicity with the simpler the design and be functional is a better.
Yeah, no, that's
That's
what
better.
I was kind of trying to see if you could formulate a new argument. Just to see like how they would respond to that.
I mean, like all the junk, like what we call junk DNA, or like all that, this our DNA, the wasted DNA that we have in our system that we're like we go through, and as a fetus, we're like we grow all of the hair just like we're a chimpanzee or something in the 7th month of gestation. Like all of that is just wasted crap. That if nobody would, why would a God design us that way, to where like we grow a whole full body full of ape hair in the 7th month of gestation and then lose it before we're born? Why would we do that? You know what I mean? Like, why would he design us that way? It's just, it makes no sense unless we, once we evolved from, something that had hair like that, had whole body hair, like a sort of like a chimpanzee or a bonobo or something.
Yeah, that's the other one that I'm going to spend a good bit of time on is the fine-tuning argument, because there are so many defenses, like there's so many counters to that I'd like to pick one to run as I'm getting more into the debate space. Like I'd like to pick one strongest one to run, and so I need to do a little research and see what can I come up with. Because the other thing is I'm trying to come up with a lot of my own arguments, because what good is regurgitating a Sean Carroll argument or a Dr. Blitz argument? Like I'd like to formulate my own.
See, I think
so. Like one, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but one that I was thinking about was, I call it the fine-tuning of life problem, or the alien fine-tuning problem. So let's say the universe is fine-tuned for life, then we would expect to find more life. Let's say there is more life and you're a Christian. You have an issue of salvation for the aliens. Did Jesus have to come down and be crucified by their people as well to save their souls?
Yes.
You have an issue there that you're going to have to contend with.
I'm sure
It's
they'll be
either
mad if they
that-
don't have original sin on that planet.
Yeah, they just not being fruit people, I guess. Their snakes don't talk.
Oh, I think the fine tuning is actually an argument against God, because I think the fact that life arose on a planet where life can arise
Yeah,
absolutely required no intervention from a supernatural being. Like if we existed as we are right now on the planet Mercury, that would be
That-
evidence of intervention.
Yes,
I use this-
I love that as a counter to fine tuning.
Yeah.
Like the fact that like it's intelligible at all is actually like a point against it. Like you said, Mercury. I like to say the surface of the sun.
Yeah.
Like, if we're somehow surviving the surface of the sun, it is unexplainable. Like there has to be something larger at play going on at that point.
Or living, you know, on like Jupiter or something like that, you know, like gaseous, like we would be that would be evidence that there was something supernatural that has came in and like put us there and was keeping us there, keeping us alive.
Wait.
That we arose in a place where life is possible.
So being an animal on a planet with a bunch of other animals doesn't mean we're special? Oh shit.
Yeah. Well, you just don't know.
nuts.
Like, you know, we are fine tuned for our environment. So, you know, I mean, kind of, sort of, well, not completely, but that any fine tuning that happened is the environment fine tuned us, not the other way around.
I use this, what you're describing about the fine tuning argument and the counters to it. I actually use this exact point you brought up a couple weeks ago when I was hosting the line with Jovan, because we had somebody call in and present the fine tuning argument. And I directly asked this person, I said, okay, hey, let's compare two worlds. Okay. World number one is the world we live in, where we are here on Earth. We look around us, we go, oh, wow, everything is so finely tuned for our existence here. And then let's like pit that against the second world where we look around and by all like sane, rational evaluation, we're like, we should not be here. Like the like, as you mentioned, like, okay, be on the sun or be on Jupiter, or just the environment doesn't like jive with us existing here. And I asked the caller, I said, let's compare these two worlds together. Which of these two worlds do you think is more evidence for God? And to the caller's credit, he said the second one, the one where we look around and there's no like rhyme or reason why we should be here. And I said, okay, that's great. But now you just admitted that fine tuning is not actually a criteria for you to determine whether a God exists or not.
Yeah.
Because we just turned the fine tuning all the way down and you said that was more evidence of a God. So then why are you presenting a fine tuning argument as evidence for God? And he's like, oh, yeah, I think you're right. And yeah, it's like all you got to do is just present the two scenarios and say what's more evidence. And I think anybody who's honestly answering the question will say, yeah, like the scenario that makes no sense is what is more evidence for God, which I would probably disagree with if we really came down to it, but just let them have that, because it shows them that the more fine tuning you have, that's the means it's the less evidence for God.
Yeah, because it's like, you know, we're just like I said, we're fine tuned for the planet we're on, like that. You know, I mean, just the way we are is because of the planet we're on, and because life was possible here. But Chase, do you know like the puddle argument? Has anybody taught you the puddle argument?
Yeah, John's run that a couple times.
Okay, yeah.
It's not. That's the thing, though. It's not really an argument. Let's not call it the puzzle argument or the puddle argument. It's the puddle analogy.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't argue for anything.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah. I say that because Cameron Batuzzi once misrepresented it as the puddle argument, and he was completely dead wrong about that. So I don't want to like add fuel to him, because I really don't like Cameron Batuzzi. I think he's
it's just a point. It kind of highlights the error in thinking that they're making.
Yeah. I think if I had to point at somebody online and I'm like, wow, I dislike this person the most, when it comes down to argumentation and bad logic, I think Cameron Bertuzzi is like kind of number one on my list. So anyway, sorry you triggered me there, but
I'm sorry. Sorry.
no worries. I'm like, don't call it an argument. You're just going to give him like ammunition.
Yeah, you're right. Though it's not an argument, but like it's a point. You know, it's just a point to show them of how
it's an illustration. I think Christians should appreciate that Jesus used lots of illustrations in his teaching. So, you know, it's the puddle illustration. It makes you understand because it has like parallels. But I think Azuka the goat should really come up on the panel and defend what they're saying in chat, though, because That's some wild stuff.
I don't know what they're saying. Like, oh, they were being normal.
I invited them up onto the panel, but they ignored my comment. Just kept on copy pasting stuff in chat. So maybe there's an AI. Who knows?
No.
Gotta love a good bot.
Gotta love a good bot. Yep. I'm not defending it. I'm just asserting it. Okay, good job.
Yeah.
Are you
we
a
watched-
Christian? Azuka, are you a Christian?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I think I've seen Azuka in chat quite a bit. I don't think they're a theist.
Oh, they're not theist. Oh, okay. Oh, then why are you posting stuff about Romans 8? Maybe, I don't know. I should probably read better.
Maybe they're being. I
it's
think they're
late.
like sarcasm or
Okay, yeah. That tends to not transfer
Like-
very well during text. Okay, carry on, Azuka.
I don't think we had Felix here a while ago, but I think Felix didn't make it back on the when we retooled up, so we lost our theist, I guess.
Yeah.
I frequently have to remind humanity there is no tone in text. SMS messaging has ruined relationships because there's no tone in text.
Yeah, sarcasm is
Oh
hard.
my
Yeah.
god.
Yeah.
Because like looking back, Azuka's first comment really let me. It kind of like seemed like they were arguing for some type of theism, but maybe I misinterpreted. So okay, forgive me, Azuka, if you're not arguing for that.
Yeah, they said the puddle analogy is weak, and yeah, I agree with that. Like, I like just saying, you know, we would be if we were living like somewhere, you know, else.
Yeah, all the puddle analogy is set. All the puddle analogy is there for is just simply to say that it is the puddle that adapted to the environment. It is not the environment that's adapted for the puddle. That's all the puddle analogy says.
Yes.
There's lots of people who try to take a lot further than that, and that is completely outside of anything that was intended for this particular story.
No, but what you can go further than that if you want is the anthropic principle in physics, which states that,
Nerd.
yeah,
Go ahead.
so,
Go ahead. I had to throw it in there.
so basically you have these ideas of multiverses, and there's specifically at least 4 types of multiverse that are possible.
Oh.
And the idea is that, of course, the one in which we live is the one that allows us to live.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So it's a full physical principle that they've put mathematics to show that, like for example, let's say a new universe was popping into existence every second for the last 2 trillion years.
Yeah.
Of all of those universes, would we find ourselves in one that has the right constants for life, or would we find one that does not?
Yeah.
So that's the anthropic principle. Is like, and
Yeah.
so now you could pull that back to one universe. It's just if this universe didn't allow for life, then there wouldn't be life. So it necessarily allows for life because we're here to ask the question.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I always say. Like, if we weren't here, we wouldn't be here to asking the question. Like, you know what I mean? Like, the fact that we're here just means that we're here. It doesn't mean that,
Yeah.
you know, because
We-
if we
it-
weren't
it
here,
is
we
only-
wouldn't be here to ask.
It is only possible for us to be in a universe that supports life in order to be here to complain about it. The universes that don't support life, the potential universes that don't support life, would not have life there to complain about it. So by saying we're here to discuss and think about it is not evidence that, you know, it's the universe is fine-tuned. It's just like if the universe is a multiverse, or rather the cosmos has like a series of multiverses, or we're in a big bang, big crunch cycle, then sure, eventually we're going to have a set of conditions that allows for life, and that life will complain about its existence. And it's like it's not really, it doesn't like show anything. It's just okay, the circumstances lined up, and that doesn't really like show us anything about, like, you know, whether a God's behind it or not.
I wonder if we were to ever like find out there's life on another planet, though, if that would like cause any of it to go like religion to be like, would
Yeah, I
that
wonder.
change it? Like, because you know,
I wonder because I suspect that there is a lot of life in the universe, but it's mostly comes down to just probably what's called slime ball planets, basically just planets that have like lots of single-celled organisms on it, bacteria, nothing like complex.
well, I mean, there could have been
Um,
lots of planets that have had complex life, and they
Could
could have been
be,
extinct.
could be.
We could have come into existence, our planet, and like they could have already been extinct. Like it's just what I mean, but we're so far apart there, and there might be
Yeah.
life, like a lot of life in the universe. But
Yeah. My point was what I was saying was we have the James Webb Space Telescope out there now, and it's doing like really awesome things, which is amazing. And I know we have a successor for the James Webb already in production. It'll probably be launched in like 20 years or something. But
Well, and the Roman's
um,
being launched in 2 days.
oh, I'll have to look that up. Okay.
Nancy
But
Grace Roman.
But what I was saying was basically there's probably lots and lots of slime ball planets out there. So we will probably eventually detect something that's like, oh, this planet really looks like it has some type of microbial or plant life on it. Finding complex life will be a lot less probable, but it has its like own distinct set of markers too, because we can look for like, artificial pollutants in the atmosphere like CFCs or something like that.
Mhm.
Stuff we know doesn't come from nature. But chances are our first discovery of life will be a planet that just simply has microbial organisms on it or some type of like photosynthesis type life on it that's using the energy from their sun to produce energy, or to harnessing the energy from the sun to do things. That'll probably be what happens. I highly doubt. I don't know if I had to bet money right now, I'd probably bet that we would eventually discover some planet that has life on it before I die. But I don't think we'll discover complex, intelligent life, let alone intelligent life, before I'm gone. Because those markers, while we understand, okay, what we would want to look for those things, it's probably exceedingly rare.
RP, do you see Gretchen's message?
Gretchen part 2 because the first stream died.
Nothing bad.
My cell phone died while I was like 20 minutes from home, so that's why part 2.
Yeah.
It's not like Neck 2 got wild and turned his webcam on and showed us something we can't unsee.
Just borked everything.
Completely off topic, but the rule of threes in celebrity deaths has been fulfilled.
Jesus Christ! Yeah, it's been a fucking terrible week.
Who?
Peter Cullen has now passed away.
Optimus
The original-
Prime.
Yep, the original voice of Optimus Prime, which is ironic because the Transformers movie is going on like its anniversary release in theaters here in a couple weeks, where Optimus Prime dies.
I
So,
cried for 2 days over Dolly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Dolly,
that
Tim
was-
Curry, now Peter Cullen.
It's like one after the other. It's like 3 days in a row. Was it? Dolly was 2 days
Yeah.
ago. Yeah, it's crazy.
Dolly affected me a lot more. I've been a Dolly fan since I was
Yeah,
born, I guess.
that's the way it goes. Unfortunately.
Okay, Gretchen was listening in. I was wondering if she was just in chat or actually listening.
Oh, this Roman telescope is badass.
Yeah, me and my fellow nerds have been excited. There's been entire talks in the physics department where I'm at over this.
I'll be right back. I need to grab some water.
Yeah.
Essentially, it's the successor to the Hubble.
Yeah.
Nice.
But the Hubble was visible light. This is also going to be infrared. It just has a much larger what aperture, I guess, 300 times.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's a 300 megapixel infrared camera.
According to the
100
website, it will
times
have
larger.
it'll have a field of view at least 100 times larger than Hubble's,
Yeah.
potentially measuring life from a billion galaxies in a lifetime. Crazy.
With a chronograph for seeing exoplanets.
Yeah.
That's what's going to really help us find life out there, is when we can like analyze exoplanets quickly and efficiently.
Yeah.
Like did you see the thing where the sugars, we found the sugars, like the raspberry sugars too, like about the same time as the spud cell came out? We discovered that the same sugars that are in raspberries are on like meteors or whatever.
Really?
Yeah. So like, because sugar is one of the necessary components for like RNA.
Did they find that in like
Hmm.
Oh, go ahead, Chase.
No, I was going to say something stupid.
Oh, I was just wondering if they found that in the samples they brought back from. There was one trip, I think, so far to a asteroid that brought samples back. I'm just wondering if that's where they found that, or if they're finding that on an asteroid via another method. Like how are they finding those sugars on?
Probably spectral analysis of the light being reflected off the asteroid. That tells you.
Sure.
Yeah, it tells you what it's made of. It's my guess.
Well, that's how they like look at atmospheres on
Oh,
planets
it wasn't
now.
it wasn't in this. It wasn't on an asteroid. I'm sorry. It was in the space, but in like between, it was just in space. Like
Gotcha. Okay, yeah. So spectroscopy.
Like as part of a nebula?
Yeah, I can't remember. See, it's been. I'm looking it up right now because it's been it's been about 3 or 4 weeks since they did it, and now I can't remember it.
Yeah. Yeah, lots of cool discoveries. I'll die happy if once we find out like life's out there. I will probably die happy because that's kind of a scientific discovery that I would just really, 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 really want to see. So if it happens and I am here for it, I will be so happy.
Yeah, it was in deep space, like in a gas cloud.
Yeah, it's a nebula.
Near the center of the Milky Way.
Yeah. Okay.
And
a nebula is just a gas cloud in space.
ERYTHRORULOS. Erythrolos or something like that.
No, it would be very, very cool to find that. Like it's obviously like it's hard not to be certain that it's out there. Like that's my problem right now with it, is just like it's too vast. There's too many chances. Like I just go back to the cycle of like the universe itself. At one point, there was a time, if the universe just goes back to hotter and hotter states, there was a time where all of the universe would have been the temperature for liquid water, right?
Yeah.
And enough stars would have blown up in that time to release the very simple molecules, because it's just hydrogen and oxygen, right? Hydrogen was already abundant. Oxygen would have come out of the first stars, right? Like, so at some point in the universe, you had enough liquid water everywhere. It just seems like if like life would just be everywhere where there could be life. It just seems like is in my head. Some places not, for sure, where it would like get started off and get wiped out. But there was a really interesting, was it a Veritasium video? No, it wasn't a Veritasium. It may have been a Kyrgyzstan video about like the ideal conditions for life to evolve on, and it was like an orange, like we're what a yellow dwarf star, which is fine. It has some stability and everything else, but ideally, like an orange dwarf star would have a much longer run. You'd get a lot more opportunities time-wise for life to evolve, and then
Yeah.
it further goes into like what the ideal planet situation would be for life, but not necessarily to get intelligent life that would, understand that it's the universe understanding itself, but at least a lot of variety as far as life goes. But
Yeah.
Yeah, man, I think probably we've had a pretty good lucky run. Like if you consider that we've had 5 mass extinctions since life evolved. The fact that we had life that survived, and then of course the dinosaurs. Like if that meteorite hadn't hit the Earth, the dinosaurs, like I don't know that like mammals would have ever.
no, specifically it hitting in the Yucatan. It wasn't even
Yeah.
like the asteroid hitting. It
It's the
needed to
worst
hit in
place it
the
could
right
hit.
spot. Yeah, it hit
Yeah.
just right.
I mean, like the dinosaurs, like without that right there happening, like the mammals would never rose up out.
Never would have had a chance with several ton lizard walking around.
I think the lizards came before the dinosaurs.
The Silurians.
Yeah, they weren't lizards, but yeah,
Yeah.
they're warm blooded. It had feathers. Like, have you watched the dinosaur thing? It was on Netflix.
I have not.
But see, I didn't even know about it until I saw it on one of the shows the other day, and they were talking about it, and I was like, I've got to go watch that. It's Morgan Freeman like narrates it, and Steven Spielberg directed it.
I only really understand things when they're explained by Morgan Freeman.
Oh my gosh! I mean, like it's so cool. Like it's like it's goes through like how they rose up and like kind of like knock the what I want to say I can't think of nothing right now. Like what was the animals before the not amphibians but the reptiles. See, the reptiles ruled, and
Guys, I was working on some problems that I just wrapped up, and I have my own class tomorrow morning, so I'm going to get some shut-eye.
night
and
Chase.
then
All right.
Chase, thanks for hanging out.
see you folks later.
Thanks for the
man,
physics
thanks for
lessons.
yeah. I appreciate you guys letting me yap about my my nerdy passion and watching.
No. One of these days, I want to pick your brain on quantum tunneling and how the sun works. Because I'm kind of
quantum tunneling is weird. That's about as well as I can explain it. But no, so it's something that I like to say because when I was in undergrad, we were learning quantum tunneling in our Intro to Quantum Mechanics course. And the mathematics says, so you have this like potential well. So imagine a box. Like imagine I put Mario in a box and Mario can jump 2 feet. I give him enough energy to jump 2 feet off the ground. But the box is 6 feet high all the way around him. Classically, you would never find Mario outside the box. He simply does not have enough energy to jump outside the box. He's stuck. In quantum mechanics, as long as that well is finite, so if it has an energy level of 2, but it requires an energy level of 6 to escape the box, the mathematics has outside of the box something called exponential decay. So it's Euler's number E raised to some negative number. So as you get further from the box, it does rapidly go to 0. But just outside the box is a non-zero chance that you will find this particle. So it turns out that not only was that predicted by the math, but it's true. sometimes you have a particle, the energy level of 2, it needs energy level of 6 to escape, and you just find it on the other side of the box for no fucking reason. And that's
Right, that
quantum
was
tunneling.
right. That was my
And
understanding of how like it works with the sun is like there's the energy barrier, like hydrogen has a temperature at which it'll fuse into helium, right? But the sun actually doesn't reach that temperature at its core. And the property that actually allows the fusion to occur is the quantum tunneling effect.
yeah. And
And that just fucks with my head.
yeah, so with that, I raised my hand and I asked my undergraduate professor, who's also my undergraduate advisor. He was an egg-string theorist, so brilliant guy, and he always had these like really great, profound explanations that all of a sudden would make things click, right? And you would be like, "Oh my God, I get it now." And so I asked him, I said, "Yeah, so I get the math, I get that the probabilities say that it can escape, but we don't know how. But what is actually happening? Like, what does the electron do to get to the outside? What's the physical mechanism there besides just the math allows it? And it turns out it happens." And he goes, "Quantum mechanics is weird, my friend." And then that was it.
Okay. Okay. I like
It's just
that
like-
answer though.
It's just like nobody knows.
Yeah, that's one of the things I really like about the probabilistic nature of some of this stuff is that there's a chance and nobody can really tell you why there's a chance. And that question doesn't have to be filled with anything other than, I don't know, we might figure it out. We might not. The uncertainty is what makes life worth enjoying, I think. I mean, if you did have all the answers, wouldn't it be boring? There's a whole Futurama episode about it where they answer everything and the professor's just fucking pissed.
What's neat about the quantum tunneling thing is that while we don't really have an explanation for, why that happens, we can demonstrate that it happens. So it's like you don't have to have like an explanation for it to see that it actually does occur. Same thing with like,
right.
It's
energy,
really
dark matter.
interesting.
Uh-huh.
So there's two really interesting things that happen. So we know that the sun shoots neutrinos our way, and neutrinos have a very low probability of interacting with anything. And so when you have your computer or your phone, there's a non-zero chance. So keep in mind, they work on ones and zeros, but on the hardware level, that's just high voltage and low voltage, right? There's a non-zero chance that the electron tunnels out of the phone or out of the computer, changing a 1 to a 0. And there's also, and then that throws every single number after it off. And there's also a non-zero chance that a cosmic neutrino comes and strikes one part of your technology, turning a 0 into a 1.
Yeah.
And then every other number is off after that. And that is actually why a lot of the times turning things off and turning them back on again actually fixes problems, because it sets everything to 0 and then resets them all back where they go.
It was actually demonstrated in a voting machine where it was determined the vote count was off in a very small county, and it was off by 4,096 votes, which, if you know computers, is a factorial of 1024, and something that would threw the alarm to somebody who understood that and figured that a cosmic ray had come through at just the right angle and flipped a bit and changed the vote count just because of cosmic ray came through.
Yeah, and so it turns out that the opposite can happen. You can have an electron quantum tunnel out, and then you can lose voltage, and then you need to restart the device.
That's
because nature just refuses to be understandable at the quantum level. What's crazy is like, so quantum mechanics is one of my strongest subjects, and the math and getting the answers right, I've always been very good at in quantum mechanics. But the understanding, like I had the worst imposter syndrome until I talked to my professors and realized like just nobody knows what the hell is going on. It's insane.
Well, it's got to be the one field where that's okay, right? Because that's kind of the circumstance there. Whereas a lot of other fields, that wouldn't fly as well.
Yeah, well, like I'll give you another good example, and this is the last one before I go to bed. But there's this one part of the Bell inequalities where you can take a polarization lens and turn it. Let's just say you turn it to the right half of the light, and or blocks out half of the light. And let's say that 15 photons are allowed through, just to make this math easy. And then you take another polarization lens and you make it perpendicular to the first one. And let's say that lets another 15 photons through, but they're different polarizations. So it looks dark when you're looking through them, right? It looks like you've blocked all the light. Between them, if you place a third one, so how much light should be going through should be 30, right? It should be 15 plus 15 should be the maximum amount of light allowed through. If you put a third one in at the right angle, you can have 50 that go through, despite adding an extra level of filtration. And that is due to the way that the particles are entangling with one another. And that's one of Bell inequalities violations for like local hidden variables is the number that you filter out, that first 15 and that second 15 added together. For every filter that you add, the amount of particles should be a proper subset of that. It should be 30 or less. And yet it's more, which is just another thing that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
I
put a link.
Whale in my nightmares. Thanks.
I put a link in the YouTube chat. There was a Mario 64 speed run.
Is it the TikTok clock upwarp?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go.
Something really weird happened in that speed run, and it is hypothesized that a cosmic ray flipped a bit in that particular runner's Nintendo 64 as he was playing. The video I posted is really fun. It's 2.5 million views. It's very popular. So that could be potentially what happened there. And there's a reason why like the ISS and other like items in orbit have like redundant computer systems, because flipping the right bit at the wrong time can be catastrophic. So they have to.
Well, airplanes have these contingencies, because like you flip the wrong bit, and then all of a sudden it takes a nosedive because it doesn't understand that it's actually
because it
right
turned
side
a
up.
positive number to a negative number. If you flip if it's a signed integer and you flip the greatest magnitude bit in that byte, you're basically turning your positive number into a negative number, and that could really have problems for your plane. So, yeah.
All right, I know it's said the other one's the last one, but then Ray mentioned nightmares, so I thought I would give everybody nightmares. So if you hold to the many worlds interpretation, which a lot of us do because it's just what happens when you take the math seriously, you could argue that consciousness always follows the branch of the multiverse where survival occurs. So all of these things have happened in your life that killed you in other versions, but your consciousness is always in the branch where you survive, which may mean that it's statistically impossible. It may mean it's statistically impossible to ever experience your own permanent death, potentially trapping your mind, aging and suffering indefinitely.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a horror show. And something I've thought about, because I've had quite a few near-death experiences, that thought has occurred to me is like, I wonder if like I did actually die there, and my consciousness just transferred to another world where that like I escaped that somehow.
So it's possible in quantum mechanics that will happen forever, and you'll end up with this permanently aging and suffering mind that never experiences its own death.
Well, I'm already there.
Yeah. So yeah, the quantum immortality, it's my favorite like little nightmare fuel for people.
That's pretty cool. That's like some Twilight Zone shit. Fun to ponder.
Yeah, you'd think though, like after you reach like 1,000 some years old, you'd realize that that's what's happening. I don't know.
Then just get really reckless with it.
Yeah.
That was always my argument for like theists to begin with, right? If you believe in this wonderful afterlife, if you believe in heaven, right? Like, why don't you just lead a really risky life? Right, you're not committing suicide, but you know you want to get
stuff
to the good
happens.
place.
They should be all the frontline soldiers.
Right?
Yeah.
All the ones. Send me out there. I'm ready to go. Right?
And they
Like,
should want all babies to be aborted.
every single one. Just get them there right away. Just fast track that trip to paradise. Right? Like if
Somebody said the other day, they said that's what heaven would be like, just be tripping over babies all the time.
God, it's horrible.
I was dying laughing. They were like, that's what heaven would be like. We'll just be up there tripping over babies all the time.
Makes it a lot.
Well, yeah,
less
it
like
brings up
heaven.
the question, like, what is your heavenly form? Like, is it like the like human form that you died in, or do you like revert to like, you know, if you're an old person, do you get to like revert to like an age that you choose, or if you're a baby, do you get to like grow up into like who you would have been?
No,
I like
trip
to
over the
think-
babies.
I like to think when Paulogia dies, he will be in heaven as his cartoon form.
Oh, that's what it is. It's all just characters.
We'll just be 2D cartoons. Yeah.
I remember I used to worry about this because I thought, how will I know my mama?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, will I be able to recognize her? Because, you know, like I used to look at pictures of her when she was young. So, like,
Good night, Chase.
See you, Chase.
night, Chase.
Good night, Chase. Thanks for coming.
But yeah, that we were talking about that the other day. They were like, the babies, they be full of babies. They'd just be tripping over babies all the time. They'll be crawling around everywhere.
Yeah.
They
Like
gotta
a
have
ball,
like
a ball pit of babies, just like you're just walking and you're just knocking them to the side as you like wade through them, waist deep. It's like these fucking babies are everywhere. This is because God, it wouldn't just be babies, like fully formed babies. It'd be a lot of like embryos.
Oh yeah, no, God, it would be just disgusting.
It'd be like sand.
Yep.
And all those embryos are, most of them are from God, because most like, you know, what, 1 out of 3, 2 out of 3 pregnancies don't take. So God put those there, Christians. Think of that.
He's like the largest abortion provider ever.
What are you saying? His design sucks?
Yeah, because we're so well designed.
We're so well designed.
Yeah, I love how eating, every time I chew food and swallow, I'm actually risking my life, because if my body involuntarily tries to breathe while I'm swallowing, I could potentially send food down into my lungs.
Yeah.
Great design.
Like me, like hundreds of thousands of people die every year of choking.
Yeah.
You don't even have,
just,
you don't even have to be eating, right? You can literally sleep wrong and die, right?
Yeah.
Like there's a whole industry of sleep apnea masks out there now because people are no longer dying from sleeping wrong.
Even yeah, that's a great point. Even just like sex and pleasure, like what the fuck? Like our pleasure center is also our sewage center? What the fuck, God? What's wrong with you, man?
Oh, he's obviously in the scat play.
Yeah, he's kind of freaky like that, maybe.
Yeah,
God's
I think
got a
that he's
German
like,
accent. What are you saying?
he's either incompetent or really has a weird sense of humor.
We shall put the pleasure center next to the waste processing center.
Look at John. We're a baby wearing a fallopian tube like a hat, waddling around.
Penis go in, poop come out. It all feels good. Yeah, God's a sick fuck if he did this on purpose.
God coined the term "good shit."
Good shit.
Yeah, some design.
Yeah. It's actually really fun. Every once in a while, you ask a Christian, like, I love asking a Christian how would they improve the Bible? Because surely every Christian looks at the Bible and goes, "Hey, you know what? There's some frustrating aspects to this book, like the slavery part. Like maybe God could have more clearly defined that slavery is bad, or maybe God could have more put the Gospels into better alignment with each other. You know, less contradictions."
Yeah.
Same thing with the human body. It's like, hey, Christian, what would you, if you were God, what would you have done different about the human body? And they hate answering those types of questions.
I asked my
Because-
mom, like I
Yeah.
never read the Bible, and like when I was a Christian, so like when I first, kind of became an atheist, I went to mom, and I was
Yeah.
like, because I know she's read it several times over, and I was like, do you know about this part?
Yeah.
And she was like, yeah.
I asked Inspire. I think I asked Inspiring Philosophy when he was on Deep Drinks podcast a couple of years ago. Basically, like, what about the Bible would you improve? Like, can you name a single scripture that you would word more clearly? And he immediately saw what the question, like what answering the question would implicate is that if I answer this and I say this scripture could have been worded better this way, I am then admitting that my God did not do the best job possible. And he immediately identified that and then avoided the question.
Well,
But
mom
that
told
tells
me,
me-
mom told me she couldn't answer it. She said, I can't
Yeah.
tell you why.
But
Yeah,
that
she
tells
said
me that he thinks he looks at some scriptures and he knows that he could word it better himself.
Yeah.
And he doesn't want to outwardly admit it because then he's tacitly admitting that his God did not do the best job possible. And that's not what the Christian God does. The Christian God does the best job possible according to Christians. But clearly not, because we have the evidence that he didn't.
I don't know. Mom must have a different, like, we don't talk about it, but it's like, she must have a different opinion. Because, like I said, she said, I don't know why that stuff's in there. And there's something, one of our neighbors asked one time, something about, do you, I can't remember how he worded it, but it was some kind of like things that were in the Bible, like, and he was like, well, don't you accept them? And she was like, or don't you accept all that? And she said,
Yeah.
oh, I accept part of the Bible. She
Yeah.
said, so it was like, you know what I mean? Like she just pretty much said, there's parts of it that I just don't take, I don't know. I guess she, in her mind, she doesn't think that maybe, that she realizes the humans wrote some of it or something, I don't know.
Yeah.
I know she has no theological, like education of any kind, but she did tell me, because I was like, did you know this was in the Bible and this and this and and she was like, yes, Robin, I know it's in there and I don't know
Yeah.
why it's in there.
Like, for instance, the tales of the Israelites slaughtering their neighbors.
Yeah.
That doesn't need to be in the Bible. Like, how many problems has that caused for biblical apologists that those passages are in there? Like, the video on my channel that kind of like the video on my channel that hit 100,000 plus views was me asking a pastor if God could accomplish his goals without slaughtering children. And it's like, we have tales in the Bible of God commanding Israelites to slaughter children. Why is that in there? Why does it have to be in there? Could God have communicated his all-important message to mankind without the tale of Israelites slaughtering children, slaughtering babies in their cribs?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I think any Christian could look at that and say, you know what? I think the Bible could have done without that.
Well, I mean, if you look at the Exodus story, okay, like Pharaoh's ready to start before he takes the firstborn of all of Egypt. Pharaoh's ready to let them go, and he hardens his heart. So, that's an extra one that he caused. He hardened Pharaoh's heart just to show off, so he could take the first. So and he says that he took all the animals, the firstborn of the animals, and the servant girl, and to the Pharaoh, So those were just bonuses, that he decided to.
Yeah, exactly.
Somebody said, "What's this show about?"
Well, who is that?
No,
that's
no.
in our queue.
Oh boy.
It says, "What's this channel show about?"
Shooting the shit. That's what we're doing here.
Well, somebody fucking bring me up. Thank you.
Sorry. Still laughing at your name. And it's
Big fucking potato.
Yes.
What it fucking feels like, dude. Fuck Phoenix, man. I mean,
I think I kind of told you it's probably gonna be like that this time of year.
116 degrees, and we went to a fucking outside concert. We're so fucking dumb. That's like never again.
Yeah.
You want to go to Phoenix in February?
Yes.
You know what? If it was, if it was just to hang out with nobody on fire and we just did inside things where there was air conditioning, wouldn't have been a problem. I wouldn't be complaining right now. But
I mean, I grew up in Las Vegas, Gretchen. I feel you. I know exactly what you're feeling right now.
yeah, but most everything there is already inside.
Yeah.
You know.
You have to travel around.
It's just I was
They don't have like indoor.
fucking idiot, and I didn't check to see if it was an outdoor venue or. I mean, I just figured, why would anyone have a fucking concert in fucking Phoenix in August and do it outside? That's fucking idiotic. No one would do that.
It was probably really
But guess
cheap.
what?
It was
They
probably really
fucking
cheap.
did it.
Yeah, it was probably really cheap to do that. It's like, oh, you want outdoor venue in August in Phoenix? Yeah, it's like dirt cheap compared to, doing it in like February.
Yeah, until you look at what the insurance rates are going to be, because you're going to have so many people just keeling over from
people
locking their
dropping.
knees. Oh my god.
Yeah.
I just want to work selling water.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Someone's
That'd
going to
be
kill it on water.
Yep. Yeah, I went to Phoenix like in February. Last time I went, it was great.
Well, nobody said there's a state law in Arizona where you can't charge people for water.
Really, bottled water.
Interesting.
I think if it's in a bottle, that's different.
Oh.
But
Oh, you can't put like a quarter dispenser or a quarter intake on like a
yeah, but they had to
water-
give me
water
like
fountain?
3 cups of ice just because I asked for it. So, and he was like, "Yeah, they can't charge you for water. No, let you here." Well, I mean, I looked at the weather report like yesterday or the day before, and it was only supposed to be like 109, but no, it got up to 116 today.
Only 109.
Yeah, fuck that.
I'm like,
But it's
Jesus.
dry heat, Gretchen. What's the matter with you?
It's not that dry.
That's what
It is
people always
not that
say.
dry.
They're always like, it's dry heat. I'm like, what? That's still a fucking 109 degrees.
Yeah.
It don't matter how dry it is.
Yeah, it's not that dry. I mean, it doesn't feel like it. It's just, especially when you get into the fucking pit with, 200 of your closest fucking strangers. It doesn't feel that dry at all. It sucks. But
So nobody on fire and took his sissy butt to bed or what?
he said something about his cat was gonna be mad at him because he was like a couple hours late feeding the cat. So
Aren't cats always mad?
we were trying to decide if we were gonna call in and figure out what to troll you guys. Because why not?
I don't know.
But-
How would you troll us?
I don't know. We didn't actually figure it out. We just started talking again and
I'm pretty sure
forgot
we
all
would
about
know. We would know.
forgot all about the idea of trolling anybody. Just like, nah, fuck that.
Yeah,
So.
we would know who you were.
Yeah. you would know who we both were, so very little point in even trying that, I think. So, but I feel like I've been up for like 3 fucking days. So, like from the time I picked him up to the time I dropped him off was like 7.5 hours or something like that, 8 hours. And it feels like it was like a week.
Well, if you've been flipping from like a 3rd shift schedule to like a 1st shift schedule, that'll definitely fuck you up.
Yeah.
Well, the heat just like it just takes everything out of you and makes you feel like, you know.
That's why they move so slow in the south.
It makes you more tired. It makes things fucking hurt more. You know, it just has a way of just like destroying you. So that's all that.
There's a reason.
I don't know. I don't know how people live here. I don't get it.
There's a reason why when I lived in Vegas, I got switched to like a night schedule where I was like immediately when I graduated high school, I flipped to a up at night, sleep during the day type person because the heat was just like so terrible. And I did that in my early 20s, like, you know, 19, 20, I flipped to that schedule. And it still affects me to today. Even today, I still gravitate towards a night owl, being a night owl, and shying away from being awake during the day. Because it's like, just back in Vegas, just wanted to fucking avoid the heat. It was like horrible. And Vegas was nice because everything, like almost everything you need is open 24 hours. Like you can go and just get fast food and go shopping. Everything's available at 4 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
So, but up in Seattle, not so much. So it's really hard for me now.
Yeah, there was a girl in the pit right in front of me. She was wearing like a thick, like table knit fucking sweater. Like what? In that heat?
What concert was this?
And Avenged Sevenfold.
Say it again.
Avenged Sevenfold.
Avenged Sevenfold.
Have you not heard of Avenged Sevenfold?
You don't know
No.
A7X?
I am very ignorant of pop culture.
I don't either.
Good Charlotte was there too.
I do know Good Charlotte.
Fucking terrible. Like, oh god. There is nothing like.
I don't want to be in love.
I have always called all the pop punk bands, I mean, except Green Day. I make allowances for Green Day because they were like the first, you know, and they had their own kind of, I don't know, all the pop punk that came after them, I always called them incel punk because they're all fucking crying about how they were picked on in high school and no girls wanted to fuck them and girls don't like cars, girls like, you know, cars or girls don't like boys, girls like cars and money and, you know, the Blink 182, you know, show us your tits thing. It's just, it was always very incel-y to me, so I always called it incel punk. And it's just something really sad about seeing a band full of over 50 men sing songs about, you know.
Yeah.
Girls don't like boys, girls like cars and money, especially considering that, you know, the guy singing it is married to Cameron fucking Diaz. So, like, okay, you know, whatever. This is weird and it's cringe. And
what? Are you saying that's a little insincere? No. It totally tracks. Oh,
I'm saying it was fucking cringe 25 years ago and it's fucking cringier now. So
this was at the Talking Stick Resort Amphitheater?
Yes, correct.
Okay. I'm taking a look at pictures of what the venue looks like.
Yeah, if you get a chance, Avenged Sevenfold is a very talented group of musicians.
Yeah, I'll pull them up on Spotify and listen to them when I'm working. See what I think.
Yeah.
Oh, that amphitheater looks pretty cool though. That's a pretty neat looking amphitheater.
They played the 4 new songs from their EP, the weird ones.
Oh yeah, how did that go over?
It was weird. I mean, I've listened to the songs enough now to where I actually really like them a lot. But except for the last one, not a big fan of it. It was better live than the recording, but they did the whole thing because Statica was the opening band, which is really just Avenged Sevenfold, you know, playing this new weird stuff. So, but they did it from behind a screen. So it was like watching shadow puppets perform, kind of.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it was like too artsy by like half.
Well, that's too bad though, because I was kind of curious because of the difference in sound, like what they were doing to perform it. But if they were doing it behind a screen, how would you know?
Well, I mean, you can see in their videos, and they did like the same kind of shit on their last album too. They got pretty experimental, and we've seen them do all that shit on stage anyway.
Yeah.
And you know,
the screen thing done right is kind of a cool effect. I can't front on it. I like the first time I saw it, I thought it was pretty neat. So.
Yeah, it was like partially see through. So I mean, you could tell, but it was still, you know, I would have rather seen it, but that's just me, I guess.
No, I'm the same way. I like if I go to see a show, I want to see them performing, right? Like I love the lights, I love all the the special effects and everything that they're doing. But like as far as like them performing the song, I want to because I want to watch them perform the song, right?
Mm-hmm. But they just came out. They did the 4 weird ones, the new ones from behind the screen. Then they took off. Good Charlotte played, and then they came back as themselves and played their whole show. Yeah.
Rocked the Casbah.
Yeah, they were really good.
Good.
They're always really good, though.
Yeah, no, they're like I said, they're good musicians, so it's not surprising that they nail it live.
So. Yeah.
I always wondered, like, if like.
It was good. Glad I went. Just really, I totally regret that I decided to do this on August 27th of all fucking time. Like, I must have been fucking crazy. So.
That's a possibility.
We could always remind you of the Bobby Hill quote about.
But I got to hang out with nobody, so all worth it.
Oh yeah, how's he doing? Besides,
he's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, fun.
We all know he's fucking awesome. This isn't a surprise. So he's exactly as cool as fuck as he is on stream.
Good to know he's sincere.
So, yeah, there's nothing about him that surprised me. So.
I think the Bobby Hill quote was, "Phoenix is a monument to man's arrogance or human's arrogance or something."
I think that was. I think Peggy said that. It's a monument to man's hubris or arrogance. Yeah. That's how hot it was there.
The city shouldn't exist.
There's a really good YouTube channel called Squirrel Tactics, which is just a guy who just breaks down King of the Hill. And yeah, I get a lot of my clips from him because he just knows what exactly to show you, just to make you laugh. It's great.
It's an amazing show. It really is.
Yeah,
what show?
And the new King of the Hill.
King of the Hill.
And the new seasons are really good. Like they're not bad at all. It's kind of sad about like Dale's voice actor. and also like Khan's voice actor, so it takes a little bit of getting used to. But once you kind of acclimate to that, it's pretty decent.
Wait, what do you mean, Khan's voice actor? Khan's
Yeah,
voice actor didn't pass away. He's just
He
white
didn't.
and not gonna do that anymore.
Yeah, he stepped down, and
Now he's Dale's voice actor.
yeah, I think so. Yeah.
No, I know. So he's from my hometown.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Yeah, Toby Huss is a legend.
Yeah.
Wait, he left the Khan role to go do the Dale role?
Yes, because Dale's
okay.
voice actor was murdered.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
takes a little getting used to.
a bizarre twist.
Yeah, but the Dale dialogue is just as sharp as ever. Like the voice actor is a little different. Like it sounds a little different, but Dale is still spot on. Like he said.
That was the one that was friends
Dale
with
is supposed to say.
Jaden, right?
What?
That was the one that was friends with Jaden.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he did some work on The Simpsons too, right?
I have no idea. Probably. I mean,
Yeah.
it's about the same.
There's another streamer / debater named Jaden LeBron. He's also a voice actor, and he was friends with that voice actor that got
Nice.
got. Yeah.
Nice.
So you should know who Jaden is, right?
We've talked to him before, haven't we?
He used to be super tight with Santana on Santana's lives all the time. Hi, Kelly. No, maybe he's not anymore. Fuck if I know.
No, Small World though, and how all those like lines intersect. All those voice actors probably. I mean, there can't be a ton of them, right?
I mean, I think there are a ton of them, but yeah, when you end up working, on the same shows and the same networks and stuff,
Yeah.
they do tend to, know who the others are.
Well, yeah, just game appreciating game, right?
Mm-hmm. So.
It's always been one that sort of fascinated me, was like that various ways of contorting your voice and everything. I used to play a lot with that on my long ass commute when I was in my '85 Toyota Camry that had everything wrong with it, so the radio didn't work. God, I hated that car so much. but it had at least 10 things wrong with it, and to fix any one of those things would have cost easily what the car was worth. And it, like, if I fixed it, it still would have had that one thing fixed, but still the 9 other things wrong with it. So it's just,
Yeah.
But it was a Toyota, so it started every fucking morning. Yeah. Those were the days.
There we go.
Glad you had a good show. Glad you didn't pass over from dehydration.
Yeah, me too.
When do you head back?
It actually, tomorrow night, I guess. I'm gonna
travel when it's safe. Travel when it's safe to drive at night when it's not.
Yeah, that and I want to make sure I'm home and ready to go when Justin pulls the trigger on that thing on Saturday. So.
Oh yeah. That'll be pretty cool.
Have you hit any good restaurants down in Phoenix?
No, it's so hard to Del Taco.
Just Del Taco? Oh my god. You can find those in California all over the place. What are you doing?
It's fucking I don't know, after concert food.
Okay.
You know, if you've been out drinking or you've been at a concert, you kind of like,
I guess.
I think for law, you have to go to Del Taco.
Whenever, I mean, okay, so we have one Del Taco in Washington, and it is hot shit. Like, it's the worst ever. So when I go down to Vegas or California, I'll get Del Taco. But if I ever go to like any other city, I always try to find like the best food they offer and go try it. Like,
Not only I would too, but by the time we got out of there and got out of the parking lot, it was already almost like midnight.
Yeah. Okay.
So your options are limited.
Yeah. Well, you at least have tomorrow. Yeah.
Which is why you always end up at Del Taco, because they're open till like 2 in the morning or some shit. So
I love Del Taco. Del Taco's like, if you hit a Del Taco that's well managed and then like they're on point, yeah, that's really good. I don't know.
I mean, In-N-Out and Del Taco, you can usually be sure that they're open really late.
Yeah, but you're in California, right, Gretchen? Like, right?
Well, right now I'm in Phoenix, but yeah.
I mean, like, you live in California, so you have Del Taco in In-N-Out wherever you want.
Right.
Yeah. Like, usually when I go to another city, I'll like try to find what's unique to that city that I can't find elsewhere and go try that.
Yeah, I do too. We're when I wake up, Nobody and I are gonna hook back up, and we're gonna go get something to eat. And I told him that he gets to pick the place. So
okay, let's see what he picks.
We'll see what he does.
Because I mean, like in October,
I just said no fucking seafood because that's not cool.
I mean, you're in Arizona. There's no seafood in Arizona.
That's
none worth trying at least.
That's true.
Yeah, but like I'm going. Like I mentioned the trip I'm taking here in a couple months. Like I'm going to go see Matt Narton in Texas. I'm definitely going to like Torchy's Tacos. I'm going up to Maine and maybe Nova Scotia to go see Paul and Shannon. I'm getting some fucking lobster when I'm up there. I'm going to go to Columbus, Ohio to see a few other folks. I'm going to get whatever Columbus, Ohio offers. Like I try to like zero in on exactly like, okay, what is the food of this region? And then I'm going to find the best example of that food and try it. So it's kind
what does Ohio offer? Probably like hot dogs.
That's a great question. I don't know.
With Cleveland mustard.
Car tires.
Ask
Car
Kizzle.
tires. What? What, Robin?
I said, ask Kizzle. He can tell you what they got.
Ask Hizzle. Okay. Is Hizzle in Columbus, Ohio?
Yeah, Professor Hizzle's in Ohio too.
Well, shit. Hey, Professor Hizzle, if you're listening,
I would guess are you going to see Justin in Ohio?
I'm gonna see Justin at Rocket City ReasonCon. And I'll touch base with him there to see if we're gonna have like a follow-up visit. But I was reaching out to him to say, hey, you know, I'm gonna try to be in your area. Do you want to get lunch? But then he was like, oh, well, I'm gonna be at Rocket City ReasonCon. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. I'll see you there. So I'm gonna go see Nitty. I'm gonna go see Jake Kreitz. I'm going to go see. Let me look up my calendar here. Where is it? Nitty, Jake Kreitz.
You should just go see Justin in Alabama and then leave him alone when he's in Ohio. Because you know they only eat. They've gone to like pescatarian only, right?
Okay. I mean that's fine. I'm just
so,
still
like, can you imagine living in Ohio and like only eating fish?
They'll probably be up to still drinking beer. Like I'm okay with not.
So weird.
I'll have a drink with them. But yeah, I'm gonna go see Owen from Telltale. I'm gonna go see Jake from Old Worldly. I'm gonna see Nitty. I'm gonna see hopefully Paul and Shannon once they get back to me. Hopefully see Justin. Like, but anyway, Hizzle, if you hear this, I'll reach out. Let's if you're in Columbus area, I'm gonna be there. Let's go have some lunch.
Yeah, he went to bed, but I'll tell him tomorrow.
Yeah, that'd be great. Love to meet Hizzle.
So did you guys talk about Beard of Empathy tonight?
Yeah, I included in the just description.
So. Awesome.
And Ray made a comment at the beginning.
Yeah, I wasn't able to
Cool.
pin it. That was something I was gonna try to do, but I am incapable.
I pinned it in the last one, part 1.
Oh wait, what's happened with Beard?
He's
Um,
having sudden expenses come up,
Oh
and
shit.
he needs help keeping the lights on.
Oh shit. Okay. Where'd you pin that from? Private chat?
you can look in the Discord. It's in there.
Well, and the video description for the stream.
Oh shit. Okay, I didn't even know what was going on
There's
there.
a video description.
What's going on?
So.
Oh, okay.
Hey, Kelly.
Oh, damn, it's like super fucking. It's perfect out here.
Is what now?
No, she said, I thought you said perfect. Sounds perfect.
And then silence.
I gotta go to bed. I'm packed. I'm moving, so I could.
You're moving. I'm so sorry, Robin.
Yes.
There are a few things worse in this world than moving.
Well, I didn't think I was ever gonna have to move again. I was planning on dying in this house, but
Oh.
just I just can't. I can't take care of the house anymore. I can't mow the grass. I can't do anything, and I can't get in and out of the house because I don't have a ramp or anything. So I'm just gonna sell the house, and well, I mean, at least I'll have like I can put all the money in the bank, and I'll have some money I can do shit on anyway instead of just paying bills. So.
Can you guys hear me at all when I click away from the app?
No. We can hear you now, though.
Good to know.
Me and Hazel were actually looking for. We lived at houseboats. We looked at houseboats.
That's always
Houseboats.
Yeah, we looked at houseboats.
What was the take on that then?
No, we were looking. You ever seen some of the houseboats that you can buy? Or
No.
crazy, like crazy.
I've never looked at houseboats. The thought of living on water, I don't know. I have an aversion to.
There's like these ones that are on water that are not even really boats. They're just like a storage shed or one of them Amish buildings or whatever, sitting on pontoon things. And so they don't even really have a motor. They don't go anywhere. They're just like floating houses.
Huh.
But then there are some houseboats that are just like enormous. I mean, like they've got like these huge ass kitchens and everything, you know. It's just like, what in the world?
It just always strikes me as putting the place you live on something that could get washed away.
Well, you don't have to. But you like. But
They do it in swamps all the time.
Like the slip rents though, for like the water slip, you know, to park it. Like some of them are crazy high. Like
Yeah, just like mobile homes and space rent and stuff. It's fucking rip off. especially when you're like buying a place like that. You know,
Yep.
you still have to buy to own the mobile home, but you'll never own the fucking land it sits on. Weird.
Right. Yeah, I guess that's what makes it extra weird, right? Like normally if you get like a house or something, you get the property, and this is just.
But this is the same. The houseboat's the same way as like a mobile home park. You know, it's just that you're renting space on a dock instead of land under a mobile home. That's all.
It's all right, Kelly. Like, I mean, like, I am sad about leaving my house and selling my house, but like an apartment I'm gonna have like I don't have like a handicapped shower and stuff right now, so like I have this, you know, like it's really aggravating for me to take a bath or shower or whatever, and I will have like this. I'm getting a handicapped apartment, so like it's got this huge shower that I could just about dry. I could go take my wheelchair into the shower, I guess. I don't know, but like it's just like it's got the sink, like the kitchen sink is lowered. That they took the cabinet out underneath it, so I don't have to try to stand up to do dishes or anything like that.
Yeah, the necessary accommodations to make life a little more pleasant, right?
Yeah, all the stove knobs and everything are down the front of the stove instead of up there on top behind it. You know, I'm just gonna have to. I'm going from a house I've got a whole storage building outside there that's full of stuff that I don't have any idea what I'm gonna do. Yeah, well, I'm taking like one. I'm gonna take one. They know about one cat, but I still have two, so I'm gonna sneak a cat. And I guess like they're both white, so I'm hoping that woman don't notice that I have but one. She'll just maybe see the same one, like that.
I thought, didn't your daughter take the cats?
She took two of them. I had four.
Oh. Damn,
she took my little red one, though. I missed my little red one. I cried over her every night. But she took the snake. She took all the lizards. She took all that. So all I got left is two cats. But now I got to pack stuff up. And I've been selling stuff on Facebook, like dishes and stuff, and like bowls and stuff. Sold like $70 worth of like mixing bowls like yesterday.
Well, you're keeping your chin up through it, so congrats on that.
Well, I mean, actually, you know, other than leaving my house and not having like privacy, like, you know, in my own house,
yeah,
it will be. I won't have to worry about mowing grass and stuff. And they actually have like transportation there too, which I have a car, but I have a friend that drives it all the time. Like they have like those wheelchair vans and stuff there or whatever, and they take you anywhere. And you go to Walmart or the grocery store, or, the doctor or whatever. And I'll just have to pay one rent thing, and it covers my electric bill and everything. The only thing I'll have to pay different than that is like internet. I got 2 bedrooms. It was my dad's idea. He's 81 years old, and he's scared to death something's going to happen to him, and then I'm going to be stuck here, and nobody's going to be here to do anything for me.
Well, hopefully it'll just result in things being easier and better for you.
Yeah,
right?
He's always like scared to death my furnace is going to go out or something, you know what I mean? Cause
right,
I have no house, you know, and stuff. And he's like, you know, if the furnace goes out, or or what if you get a water leak or something, and you won't have no way to do anything. You just freaks out about that stuff all the time.
Yeah, so it's not just peace of mind for you, right?
Yeah, it's mostly peace of mind for him, actually. I mean, I'm doing it pretty much for him because he was like, Robin, I'm not gonna be around much longer, and I don't know, who's gonna do anything because both my kids live away. So
Yeah,
I don't know how I did that.
I got to pay somebody to come mow the grass and out there. I don't know, I can't get nothing done. I can't do anything, and I can't do anything inside here much either. So.
Well, you've been doing a lot, right? You've been doing a lot of fundraising to try to make the world a better place. So you're still making yourself of good value.
But we haven't done any fundraising at Pangburn yet.
Well.
No, well, good luck with that.
Yeah.
Jesus, I turned on fucking YouTube this morning and there's a big thumbnail with Professor Dave and the words
I know
and the letters CSAM all over the place. And I'm like, what the fuck are you doing now?
I don't know. I don't even watch.
Yeah, that's probably for the best.
I didn't either. I'm just like, this is getting ridiculous.
Yeah, soap operas have better writers. I'll just go
Robin,
back to watching Days if I want drama.
Hi, Kelly.
Yeah. Hi. Didn't mean to interrupt whoever. I just interrupted.
Oh, no. I have nothing of value to say.
Oh, I was just gonna say to Robin, I'm so sorry, but grateful. It sounds like you found a place for all your pets, and actually your setup sounds a lot like mine. And
it's a pretty nice apartment.
Yeah, I'm grateful for, I wish I had all the independence I had before, but it's nice to have that little extra being taken care. Where I live, they provide 3 meals a day, and they're really not that great of meals, but that's all right compared to other people's situation that's just fine, and it's there. But I still have a small kitchen, and so I try to, work on my nutrition through my home meals and stuff. And then I have to socially interact with all kinds of people that are, for the most part, older than me. And some days I'm up to it, some days I'm not. But anyway, yeah, big adjustment for you. But
yeah, I can't leave the house right now. Hey, Dade.
Yeah.
I can't leave the house right now without
I have to motherfucker, that hurt.
So that's aggravating. Is I can't even go outside and do anything because I can't get out and can't get back in.
Yeah. That's not a good situation to be in at all when it gets to that point.
And actually, after I sell my house, they don't take none of my money because I'll be paying rent, like full rent. So I'll actually have a little bit of money to spare. You know what I mean? Like I'm gonna put some of it in some kind of thing that I can keep out. I'll have enough money to go. I think me and his have been talking about going on some trips. So.
Well, good morning to the rest of you too.
Good morning.
I don't think I've ever. I don't think I've ever met Eric, although I've watched your show a few times. So. Nice to meet you. Yeah.
Good to meet you too.
Yeah. And, Again, thanks, Gretchen, for giving
For
me
what?
giving me an opportunity to read the room. So
Oh,
are
well, highly recommended every time, actually.
yeah. So are you? Did you go to a concert or something cool? What's going on?
Not cool.
Oh,
It was not cool. It was
It
like
was
116 degrees.
literally not cool.
But yeah, one of my favorite bands played in Phoenix, and
oh,
since it was just Nobody on Fire's birthday a couple weeks ago, I said, "You want to come with me?" So
She's out there trying. She's out there seeing how hell's gonna be.
oh my
so we went and
goodness.
did that. So
So it's pretty late here. It's almost 3 a.m. I'm gonna drop so I can get some sleep. So everyone have fun, and I'll catch you later.
yeah, I'm
Good
good,
night,
Eric.
Eric. Thanks for coming
Bye
up.
bye.
I'm gonna drop too. I need to get some fucking sleep too. I just jumped off of a retaining wall, and my angel is less than plussed about it. So
Mm.
I didn't want to fill up the bathtub with some cold ass water and just soak it for a few minutes.
Oh,
Well, good luck
I
with
think
that.
this is a good point to go ahead and call it for the night because I'm running out off too.
Cool. Really good
Yeah.
idea.
I was getting ready to tell you I was
Alright.
getting ready to go to bed, so I was hoping you weren't gonna get upset when I left you. Night, Gretchen.
Good night. I'm probably not going to be on tomorrow because I'm probably going to be driving home tomorrow night. So
That's cool. I'll actually be home the entire time, so I'll be able to, not break it up into 2 parts.
But I should be packing right now. I just got really lazy about it today.
So,
Packing's a whole thing. It's mentally exhausting.
It really sucks when you're doing it from a chair.
Yeah.
all right. Good night, everybody.
Good night,
night.
Gretchen. Good night. Sleep.
Asians out.
And good night, Robin. Good night, Ray.
night.
Good night, chat. Good night, Moon.
Good night, Moon. Peace.
We'll catch you all in the next one.